Hi, and welcome to Watch It Played. My name is Monique.
And I'm Naveen, and today we're to be playing the 1 to 4 player game Cuba Libre, designed by Volka Runke and Jeff Grossman, and published by GMT Games, who are helping sponsor this video.
Yes, join us as we compete head-to-head in Volume 2 of the Coin series. But before we begin, if you'd like to learn how to play this game, Rodney's taught the game in a live stream setting, which we've linked in the description below.
And if you can all do us a big favor and turn on your Klingon subtitles, just in case we make any rules mistakes, we'll add those corrections there. Hopefully we'll not need them.
And otherwise, we are ready to begin. So, if you please direct your attention to the center of the table, we're all set up here for a 2-player game of Cuba Libre. Welcome to Cuba.
Ooh.
Now, because we're playing a 2-player game, we are each going to be controlling 2 different factions. And so today, Naveen will be playing as the government as well as the syndicate, and I will be controlling the 26 July forces as well as the Directorio.
So all my pieces on the board will have blue and green colors, and Monique will be red and yellow.
That's right. In addition, players are not allowed to transfer anything between their 2 factions, including cash. But if you're familiar with the game, the syndicate can still give the government cash via profit, which is one of their special activities.
Right. And because we're controlling 2 factions each, when checking for victory, both of your factions need to be in a winning position.
And as a reminder, in order for the government to win, total support must be greater than 18, and all 3 cities must be in active support. The syndicate must have more than 7 open casinos, and they start the game with 3 of them, and their resources must be above 30. So they are playing a resource game. Opposite to the government, we have the 26 July that needs opposition plus bases to be greater than 15. And finally, we have the Directorio that needs the DR population plus bases to be greater than 9. So then, if we get to the final propaganda, our individual scores will be the lesser of our 2 controlling factions.
And finally, we do want to mention that we are playing the shorter version of the game, which basically means we've taken out 8 cards from the deck.
And that's about it. I think that is everything that we need to know in order to get started. Are you ready?
Oh yeah.
All right. As a reminder, turn order will be dictated by the first card that we flip. So let's go ahead and do it.
All right, what do we got?
First card on deck, we have General Strike.
That's one of mine.
So, Naveen, you're going to be starting us off.
Okay.
Followed by me with the Directorio.
Okay.
And of course, we are always going to flip the second card on deck so that we know what's coming up.
The conundrum card.
And it is Meyer Lansky.
Oh no.
And here we have the Syndicate going first.
Okay.
So we have an interesting order of turns to start the game.
Sure.
And so going back to the first event, General Strike, we have 2 options here. First, it says in each city, shift 1 level towards neutral and place any 1 guerrilla. Oh, that's great. Or we have strike fails, shops open. Set a city to active support and activate all guerrillas there. Open any 1 closed casino. Oh, so we have some
Wow.
fantastic options to start the game. Now, as a reminder, only up to 2 factions will act per event, and the priority order is always at the top of each event card, which means, Naveen, please take it away as the government.
Well, one of those events, very nice. One of those, not nice. The game is going to constantly put us in this kind of situation.
Okay.
I will take the event, and I will take the nice one for the government. So I'm going to move my marker indicating I'm taking the event, and I'm going to take the bottom action.
General Strike.
Yes.
So strike fails, shops open. Set a city to active support. I wonder which one.
Santiago de Cuba, since it's neutral, I'd like to get it as far up as I can towards my favor.
Okay.
So we're going to set it to active support, which is fantastic.
And activate all guerrillas there.
So you have 1 underground gorilla.
Yes.
We're going to go ahead and flip it up. So that is now an activated
That's
gorilla.
unfortunate. Open any 1 closed casino, and there is none.
There's no casino there, that's closed. But we do get 2 more towards my total support.
Right.
So total support is now at 18 for the government.
And as a reminder, when calculating support or opposition, you multiply the location's population by 2 if it's active support and by 1 if it's passive. Which is why the government went up by 2 points because previously Santiago de Cuba was at neutral.
Yeah, so it went from neutral to passive, passive to active, all in one shot.
Right. Which is terrible for me because basically the government just needs to get this city into active support and then you'll be at your win condition.
I would, but we are most likely going to crumble.
Yeah, let's hope so. So then it goes to me
Yep.
as the Directorio, since I am next in priority order, and I now must take an op with special activity if I'd like to go right now, because Naveen took the event. And again, in this game, you always have to follow the arrow if you are the second faction taking an action. So of course I'm going to do this because it's the beginning of the game, and why not?
Yeah.
Or instead, you can always pass. But it's the start of the game. I'm going to go ahead and take an action. Now, I'm actually between two different options. Typically, I'd like to start by rallying just to get some, forces
Some
on
presence,
the board and,
yeah.
and start building something as a Directorio. But because you're basically starting the game with another city in full active support for free, I'm just going to do something a little bit desperate, but I think also more interesting. I'm going to do just a one op. I'm
Okay.
going to do a terror op in
Okay.
one space, and it's going to be in Havana.
Sure.
So it's any spaces with underground guerrillas, and I do start there, so I might as well utilize them.
Okay.
It's going to cost one resource because it's just in that one city.
So you're doing this one action
Yes.
here.
And basically, I activate one underground guerrilla in there.
Okay.
I'm going to add a terror marker because I'm performing terror there. And as a Directorio, whenever you perform terror, you shift all support or opposition one level towards neutral. So you just bring everything in towards neutral.
So that active is going to go to passive.
Active will go to passive, which means, unfortunately for Naveen, Havana has a population of 6.
So I lose 6.
So you lose
See?
6.
It crumbles.
So it's not crumbling. That's just a little
Minor inconvenience?
yeah, a bump in the road, I
Okay,
suppose.
yeah.
So that is it. That is all I'm doing. I'm not actually doing a special activity because the special activity that accompanies terror is assassinate, and you have to have more Directorio guerrillas than specifically police.
Yeah, police are the light blue.
Yes.
Troops are the dark blue. So because she only had 2 to my 4, she was not able to do that special activity.
Right. So I have some feelings about about that move, but that is it. So these two are now going to become ineligible.
Right.
The 26th July and the Syndicate are eligible. And we flip a new card. So Mayor Lansky is the next card. So Syndicate will go next. And the card on deck is
Oh, one of
Morgan.
yours.
So this is a Directorio card. It's an
Okay.
insurgent capability that says DR guerrillas may march to adjacent spaces.
Oh, interesting.
Alternatively, you can set a space with a DR guerrilla to active support.
Oh, that's
my
nice.
goodness. All right. That is that. So now it is you, Naveen, as a Syndicate.
Okay. Well, as a syndicate, I think I'm going to not take that event, and I'm going to do an op with special activity.
Okay.
So the operation I'm going to do is a rally. So we're going to rally in 3 different locations. It's going to be in Havana City,
Okay.
La Habana, and Pinar del Rio.
Yeah, we're going to use these markers just to keep track of where we're doing everything.
So we're doing the operations, and I'm using this little kind of sheet that the game comes with, and I'm taking all the activities that are part of this insurgent operation. I'm going to do the rally action.
Okay.
So it's going to cost me 1, 2, 3 resources to do this because it's in 3 different locations. So 15 resources for the syndicate goes down to 12.
Nice.
And then essentially what I get to do there is I place 1 underground guerrilla in each of those locations. So we're in Havana, we're in La Habana, and now we're in Pinar del Rio.
All right. Does it affect control anywhere?
It does, and only in La Habana. So now there is 2 of my pieces, one of which is the face-up open casino to your 1 underground guerrilla. So we are going to have control here in La Habana. So
Okay.
that's going to go just like that. So Syndicate now controls that territory.
Not good. Because as a reminder, in order for you to have control, you have to have more pieces than everybody that's in that space.
Correct.
And bases and casinos count as pieces, but casinos only when they are open.
Correct.
And you know that they're open when they have the symbol
The
showing.
coins, yeah. And the special activity that I'm going to perform right now is called Bribe. So essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose 1 space, and I get to remove 2 guerrillas from there. So it's gonna cost me 3 resources to do this, which is not good for the syndicate, because again, remember the syndicate is in a winning position when they have 8 open casinos and at least 30 resources. So my 12 is gonna go down to 9. And then this is going to cost that 3, and then these 2 guerrillas are going to go bye-bye.
Wow.
So they did a little damage there, though. So that was a problem.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Well then, I guess I'm glad that I did the terror in there when I could, because you were going to remove me anyway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So are you done?
That's it.
All right, so then it goes to me as the 26th July, and my options are I can either take the event, which is essentially useless right now because there is no cash on the board, and the other option is for you. Or I can do a limited op. So both options are pretty terrible for the 26th July right now because I'm not really on the next card either,
Right.
Morgan. So I guess I might as well just take it.
Sure.
It's better than passing at this point. So I'm going to do a limited op, which means I can perform an operation, no special activity, but only in one space. So with that one limited op, I'm going to rally.
Yeah.
For the 26th July, I can only rally in provinces or cities without support. So basically, any spaces that don't have blue is where I'm allowed to rally into. And I think I'm going to rally into Las Villas.
That's a good spot.
So it costs me one resource. It's one resource per space.
Okay.
And rallying allows me to place one underground guerrilla in that space. So nothing huge, but at least things are starting.
That's big.
Right?
That is big.
All right. That is the end of my turn.
Okay.
So these factions
Eligible.
will become eligible, and these two are ineligible. And Morgan is the next
So
card.
you're going to have
which
first
means
priority.
The Directorio is next. And after that, we have Alberto
Ooh,
Bayo.
one of yours.
So this is one of mine. Oh, that's great. So 26 July or DR, free rallies in each space. It has a base, as if space is neutral.
So that's more of like a interesting thing a little bit later in the
Yes.
game because you only have one base out right now in Sierra Maestra from the setup.
Yeah, this
But
is
that's okay. You don't need the event.
it's a bit of a tough start.
Something else.
Or all 26 July guerrillas active. 26 July ineligible through the next card.
Oh.
Okay. Actually,
that
I'm
is
kind
something.
of glad that this card came up early because had it come out at a very critical time, then it would have been very painful for somebody to activate that and then 26 July not be active in the next card, you know?
Always being able to see the next card kind of starts creating this kind of like animosity in yourself. Like, I want to do an action now, but I have to protect myself from what it says in the next card. So there's kind of a little bit of information going into each round.
Right. All right. So then it is me with a Directorio, and I don't necessarily want to take the event.
Okay.
But I also don't want you to because
Okay.
the other option is set a space with a DR Gorilla to active support. And that basically undoes everything that I've been trying
It
to do.
does things I want and it does
The-
things that you don't want.
The little things that the Directorio has been working on, you know? So I'm going to do an op only.
So
And
no special activity.
I'm taking some risks here. I'm just going to spend down all of my resources. I'm basically not doing a special activity, which means I can't even subvert to gain resources.
Okay.
But I'm just going to use this as an opportunity to start spreading out a little bit more.
To become pesky.
Yes, so I'm going to rally, and I'm rallying in 4 places. I'm going to Oriente, Camagüey,
2,
Camagüey City,
3.
and back
Hello.
into Havana. Because as a reminder, the Directorio can only rally in places that are neutral or have passive opposition or support.
Sure.
So all of these locations fit the bill. So that's going to cost me 4 resources.
All
Just
of
one
them.
resource per space.
Down to 0.
All the way down to 0, which
Yep.
is fine. And as the Directorio, my rally lets me put out 1 underground guerrilla per space. So I'm just going to place them into each spot that I have
Each little
a
pesky spot, huh?
pawn. I think the only thing this changes is control in Oriente.
Which is a good thing for you.
Which is part of what the Directorio is trying to achieve.
Yeah, so it's Directorio is control, which is the printed number of the population. So Monique
Right.
is actually going to gain 2 victory points for the DR.
Yes.
Because there is 2 population in Oriente and she has control of it.
Right. It's a bit tough for the Directorio to score points, but I only need more than 9. So it's not as high of a threshold as all the other factions. But that is it. I am done with my turn. It is now to you as the government with a limited op if you so choose.
Limited op. Well, I don't want a limited op, so I'm going to pass. This is our first time passing in the game, so we just basically slide down into this little pass box, and every other faction gets only 1 resource when they pass. When the government passes, we get 3 resources. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
There you
Terrible.
go. Yep. So that is it. So we are going to stay eligible for the next card. These ones will come on over, and then the only ineligible will be the DR.
All right. So that is it for that event card. Alberto Bayo will now come down.
All right.
And we have a new card on deck.
One of
and it is
mine.
Brack. So this is a government card.
Okay, what does that say?
Oh, remove any 2 guerrillas.
Ooh,
Oh, and this is really unfortunate because it is you and then the syndicate.
Me and me.
So it's both of your factions
That's a
back
good
to
one for me
back.
then.
Alternatively, it says place 1 police anywhere. Add
Okay.
lesser of +6 or aid to government resources. Oh my
oh, that's a good
goodness.
just overall card.
Feeling the squeeze.
Yeah.
You know, it's been a bit of a sparse start for both the 26th July as well as the Directorio. And with the cards that we have right now, it feels like it's still going to be a bit tight for a while, considering the fact that both the government and the syndicate will basically be able to go back to back.
Yep.
So I am going to do an op with special activity, but
Okay.
it's going to be a bit of a strange move, I think, because I'm going to do an attack and ambush.
Okay.
Now, this op attack allows me to basically attack enemy forces that are in the same space. So I can do this in a space that has both my guerrillas and somebody else.
Yes.
So I think technically I could do it in these 3 places, but I'm only going to do it in Las Villas.
Yep.
So it's going to cost me 1 resource. And oops, they got a little stuck.
Yep.
And the accompanying op or a special activity that I'm going to do, ambush, basically allows that attack to just succeed. But I do have to activate the 1 underground guerrilla. In addition, I get to place a 26 July guerrilla in that space. So an attack, when successful, removes 2
So they go into that box over there.
in that box.
It's not good.
And that's great because you need to turn in 2 of your cubes in order to make a base, and that's good. Okay.
Now I have 1 there. Yeah.
So I think control switches.
Yeah, it goes to you now.
Yes.
So I'll get you a control marker.
It doesn't change any points because, again, the 26th July and government care about opposition and support. But there you go. That is it for B. So now it is to the government with either a limited op or this event.
Yeah, that event's not anything too glorious. So seeing as I'm first and second up on Brack, the next card,
Yeah.
I'm going to do a pass, gaining 3 resources.
As a,
1, 2, 3.
Nice.
And then I'm going to pass again
Yeah.
with the syndicate, gaining
figured.
another resource. So
Makes sense.
that's it. So no more actions for this particular card.
No more actions, and I'm going to get squeezed out of Brack as a
You are,
Directorio. I
yeah.
basically won't be making an appearance
Yeah,
there.
we'll see what happens on that next card, though, because that could change plans.
That's true. So we have a card flip. Brack, as a reminder, will allow you to either remove any 2 guerrillas or place 1 police anywhere and add the lesser of +6 or aid to government resources. Aid right now is at 15, so it would be an additional 6 resources to the government. And the next card is Eloy Gutierrez Menoyo. So
Okay.
this is a Directorio
One of your cards.
card. Yeah, replace a non-DR, non-casino piece within 1 space of Las Villas with 2 DR guerrillas.
Oh.
Or replace a Directorio guerrilla with a non-Directorio guerrilla. Okay,
Interesting.
that is interesting. All right, to you
Okay.
as a government.
Yep. Well, I'm going to take the event as the government. We are going to be doing the top one, which is
The top
remove
one.
any 2 gorillas.
Interesting. So even though the bottom portion here is specifically to the government, you can still choose the other option as long as you are able to take those actions. And so that is what you're doing.
Oh,
What are you removing?
We are going to
Ooh.
remove this one in Havana.
Okay, in which green?
And this one in Camp. Yeah, no. No, greens are friendly to me. So both
Okay.
the cities need to be a little bit cleaned out. So those are the 2 gorillas.
Okay, so that's it for the government. That is your
Yeah.
whole turn.
Yeah, and I got to look at that next card.
This one?
Yeah, what did it say again? So I really don't like the replace a directorial gorilla with a non-directorial gorilla.
You removed
No,
them.
that's why I could not let this
Oh,
card be
I
there
see.
for you, because then you would allow yourself to
Yeah.
get the red pieces into the cities. Don't want that. So
Okay.
let's put that back. I think I'm going to take an op with special activity.
Makes
We're going to have
sense.
to do that.
As a
So,
syndicate?
yeah, so the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to construct. So I am going to be doing the op that is construct in Santiago de Cuba.
Okay.
And then we are going to be doing our special activity in both Havana and Santiago de Cuba.
Oh.
Or sorry, in Havana and Pinar del Rio. I
Oh,
apologize.
okay.
Okay, so the construct action is going to be here in Santiago de Cuba. It's going to cost me 5 resources to construct a casino. So we go from 10 down to 5.
Okay.
And so we have a casino that comes into this city. And it's going to be closed,
Right.
unless I can open it, or at the end of the propaganda round, this will become flipped over, and I'll have 4 constructed casinos that are open. Okay, and then my special activity is going to be my profit. I am going to select these 2 spaces to profit in. It's a place that has an open casino and with a gorilla or cube. So I'm going to put 1 cash marker with this gorilla here in Pinar del Rio. And then 1 cash marker. This is the way I can get the government some cash. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to this troop right over here. And that's legal.
Interesting.
That is the only way that I can actually just straight up give the
Yes.
government something.
That you can actively actually pass that resource to another controlling faction.
Yeah, and
right?
this is in the two-player situation. And that's it for my turn. So these will all come off, and then we are going to be getting a new card.
New card. So these two are ineligible.
So now you get
and-
to go back to back, which
yes,
I don't like.
It's my
I'm
shining
hoping
moment.
for a nice card flip that makes it difficult for you to make a decision.
So now we know this one already. And the next one is
One of mine.
Batista Fleas.
Ooh, that's
so this is
mine.
one of yours. Basically, there's only one option here.
Yeah.
Government resources minus 10.
Yeah.
Select and remove a die roll of troops.
Oh.
U.S. alliance 1 box up. Aid plus 10. Government redeploys as in propaganda round. So it's a lot to do with the government.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that timing of this card?
I don't like it when the alliance box is at 2.
Yeah.
I'd rather it be at 3 because this
yes,
is
yeah,
how
it's wasted.
it's just wasted. So
It basically dictates the amount of resources that you have to spend per action, right?
exactly.
So then, as the Directorio, I'm going to take an op with special activity. And I think I don't have any resources. I have 0 resources. So I really only have one choice here. And it's to
Subvert. Yeah.
as my special activity. And I'm going to rally. I don't really have many people out there right now.
Okay.
So you can do the special activity before, during, or after your op. So I'm going to start with Subvert.
Okay.
Now, just a little bit of future information, I suppose. These are the areas where I'm taking my op.
Okay.
So I can rally basically in passive or neutral spaces, and then I can subvert only in areas that I control. And right now the DR controls Oriente.
true.
When I subvert, however, it makes this space neutral. So I do lose 2 points.
You do.
As the
It is
26th
still
July.
very early in this game. It's
Right.
understood.
But the good thing is I get the number of resources equal to the population.
1, 2.
So I do gain 2 resources, just enough for my op. So now I'm
Yes.
going to rally, and this is a neutral space, so I'm rallying in 1 guerrilla here.
Oriente, yep.
And I'm going to rally
Clearly Havana.
in Havana because it is
This is such a
passive right now.
ay.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tight start.
It's a problem.
So that is it for the Directorio. As the 26th July, I'm just going to take the event. So now that I've planted a Directorio in there, I can replace a Directorio gorilla with a non-Directorio gorilla.
Oh, great.
So
No, that's fantastic.
let's just shake hands
Ugh,
and
come
pass. And that's it. So
Stay away.
these 2 become eligible.
Come on.
We are ineligible at least. So Batista Fleas.
Batista Fleas.
You can do all that if you so choose.
That is me, huh?
And then we have Eulogio Cantillo.
Oh, another one of mine.
Yes, it is a government priority card. And so the 2 options here are General Seals Truce. Select a space with troops. A faction free marches all of its guerrillas out and then flips them underground. Or select a province or city with troops. They free sweep in place, then free assault.
Oh. Oh. Oh, okay. Free sweep and free assault, you say?
You're so marketed to right now.
Yeah, no, this is not good. You do not want to see all your cards coming out early. 'cause
Yeah,
that
all
means,
of the events are so juicy to you right now.
That means they're not coming out later because they're
true.
here now. So we have
Yeah.
a long game to go.
Oh, and you know what? I did not spend my resources. So
yeah.
I rallied in 2
Yeah,
locations.
you
I should
subverted,
get
got the
0.
2, and then you rallied from 1 each.
Right.
Okay. Okay, I really like the event on the next card. So the government is going to go ahead and pass and get 1, 2, 3 resources.
Oh my goodness. What is the government doing?
I don't know. We're just trying to keep the cities nice and clean.
Okay.
As much as possible. Then we are going to do the op with special activity with the syndicate.
Okay.
And I'm going to go ahead and rally. And I'm going to rally in Pinar del Rio. And I think that's the only place I'm going to rally, just
Oh,
in,
okay.
in one spot right
In one
there.
space.
So I'm going to go ahead and spend 1 resource doing so.
Okay.
All right. And then I'm going to do the profit special action, or special activity. So we're going to go ahead and place a cash marker. I'm going to give it to this gorilla here. We're
Okay.
designating Havana and Pinar del Rio. So it's going to be here and here. Oh, I rallied. I didn't put the gorilla here.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's going to be 1 profit. And then honestly, I'm just going to profit 1 more time in Pinar del Rio.
All your cash markers.
Yes, and hope for the best right over there.
How do I get those?
It's just very far.
That's the question.
So very simple turn. That's it. I'm done. This is going to come off.
right.
Government stays eligible, and we see all that.
All right, so this card comes down, so it's going to be you.
Yes.
And then 26 July.
What is next?
And I don't know. You want to know how many cards are
Yeah,
here?
sure.
This is always public information. We have
1,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8.
So propaganda. The first propaganda is probably
And
very
the next few
soon.
cards, if not the next card, please.
Ready?
Yes.
Sinatra.
Sinatra.
So this is a syndicate card. It's
Okay.
either overpriced star, syndicate resources -6, or Frankie's show. Place an open casino in Havana regardless of stacking and place 1 cash with police there.
Oof.
All of your cash is already
deployed.
out.
Yeah.
So what would you like to do as a government?
I think I got to take the event. I'm going to do the bottom event. So I'm going to take the event right there. Yep.
So it says select a province or city with troops. They free sweep in place, then free assault. And again, troops are the darker
blue
blue
ones.
pieces. So I'm guessing.
Havana. We are going to free sweep. Sweep uncovers you. Your
Okay.
underground is now exposed.
Yes.
And now you are face up. And then we are going to free assault there, which removes you.
Wow.
Wow.
Your whole turn for this 1 cube or 1 gorilla.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But it didn't cost me anything because the action economy there is
Yeah.
sweep is its own action. And then to assault is another action.
Yes. Just time.
And it didn't cost me any resources doing 2 different actions. So
Only time.
only time. Only time. Yep. That's it.
All right. Well, surprisingly, I think as the 26th July, I'm going to pass. So
1 resource for you.
I gain 1 resource. And the reason why is I think I want the Directorio to have the op with special activity. And I am just I'm going to bring it back. So I'm going to rally and subvert again. But I think this time I'm going to rally into these 2 cities.
Cities.
Considering the fact that propaganda is coming very soon, and the main way that Directorio gets resources during that time is to be in many spaces. It's basically 1 resource per space.
Okay.
And I'm going to subvert in Oriente. So
You're subverting first.
subverting first.
So you're setting it to neutral, which
Yes.
is already neutral.
So I
You
gained the
get
2
your
resources. Okay, that's done. Now let's spend 1 resource to rally into Camoe.
Yeah, there you are.
And then the second resource to rally
Wow, this
back
is,
into Havana. I just don't want you to ever feel safe, right? Like if I'm completely out of the cities and Naveen just flips them all to active support,
Yeah.
then he doesn't really have to worry about that aspect because it's so much harder to get in.
It is.
So I think
It's
just
exactly what I want
while
to have
this
happen.
is still possible, just be a little bit annoying here
Yeah,
and see what happens.
very much so.
Okay, that's it.
Okay.
Nothing else
So
really
we're going to get a
changes.
card
So
flip.
We are going to get a card flip, and we're going to see what that is. So Sinatra comes down.
Yes.
The syndicate.
So is it
will go first.
propaganda?
It
is
is
propaganda.
Propaganda.
Dang.
So there you go. We are not going to be ending the game quite yet because, again, both of your factions have to be meeting their victory conditions.
Okay, what does this what does Frank Sinatra's thing say?
This is either syndicate resources -6 or place an open casino in Havana regardless of stacking and place 1 cash with police there.
Syndicate resources -6, you say. Okay,
Correct.
so if I take an op with special activity and blow through my resources, then there's no -6 for you to have.
That's true.
Yeah, so I might end up doing that because
It is what it is.
I can't let you have an op with special activity and I can't have this much mayhem.
Okay, well, you have 4 whole resources to spend.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Well, you can't hurt me if I don't have any resources, so I am going to go ahead and do the op with special activity, leaving you that event.
Okay.
Okay, and then I am going to rally here in Pinar del Rio. So it's going to be 1 resource, leaving me with 3. I'm going to bring in another gorilla into this location. So now I have 3 gorillas there. And then I am going to do the bribe special activity. And this allows me to select a space and essentially remove either 2 gorillas or cubes if you're playing in a higher player count.
Right.
So I'm going to choose this particular location. It's going to cost me all 3 of these resources because bribe costs 3. And I am going to get rid of this pesky gorilla right there. So they
Okay.
can be underground as the syndicate.
Yeah, I believe you bribed me earlier in the game at that same location.
Havana.
All right. Are you done?
Get out. Yeah.
All right. Well, then it is back to the 26th July for the final turn before propaganda.
Okay.
And even though the event is not that useful, the other option is I can do a limited op. So maybe I'll do that. And this is basically an op with no special activity and only in 1 space. So it is quite limiting. Now, seeing as propaganda is after this, I'm sort of torn between 2 options for what I can do on my turn. One is much safer and the other one is quite risky, but if luck is on my side, it could be really good. And it's basically knowing that you're going to have to vacate Las Villas at the end of propaganda.
I'll have to redeploy.
I can just build a base here now and cross my fingers and hope that I'm going before the government on the next card.
Yeah.
Because if I can start the next quarter with a base in there, then I can rally in a bunch of forces.
Yeah.
But if either of your factions is going to go before or happens to be going before the 26th July, then I'll be in trouble. So maybe I'll just go with the safer option and I will rally. It's a limited op, so it's only in one space. I'm going to spend one resource now. And I'm going to rally into Matanzas.
Okay. Yep.
Because at least here, I have control.
You do?
And during propaganda, the 26th July is allowed to agitate in spaces that they have control. And that'll allow me to at least gain a point that way.
Yeah, so you can agitate in Matanzas and then in Las Villas because you have control there.
I gain one fewer resource because that is one less space I'll have out there. But hopefully in the long run, this is better. All right, so that is the end of that card. We're just going to move them all to ineligible until the end of propaganda. But here we are, our first propaganda. But first, we do need to see the next card.
We will get to know what's on deck.
We will get to know what's on deck.
It's a red one.
It is.
Red.
It's a red one.
You should have went with your gamble.
I should have went with it. It was risky, though. Pact of Caracas. No 26th July or DR ops or special activities that remove the other's pieces or affect placed opposition.
That's more problematic in a higher player count. You're already allied with yourself in this one.
Right. If the same player, mutual transfers allowed. Oh, that's kind of nice. If either removes two of its bases at once, cancel capability, which is what this is. Executing faction stays eligible for the next card. Okay, so now we are going to resolve our first propaganda round. If you're not familiar with this game, this is basically where we check for victory. We're going to gain resources, and we get to manipulate the board in order to reset it for the next quarter of the game. So then, first things first, we are going to check for victory. So during each propaganda, we can basically just follow these steps. And neither of us are at our victory condition.
No way.
That's for sure. But
No
let's just double check and see where everybody is at. What do you think?
Sure.
So starting with the government, total
support's
support.
at 12, and we need it to be at least 19 with all three cities being at active support.
So the fact that not all three cities are at active support is already disqualifying you from the victory with the government. The syndicate needs more than 7 open casinos. Right now,
we have 3.
You have 3, and you have no resources.
The fourth one being built.
Right.
Yep.
The 26th July, I only have 5 points. I need to be basically above 15, but that is including my bases. So we have a long way to go. And the Directorio is at 3. I need to be above a 9. So nobody is at the
No one's
win
even close,
condition. We're going to move on and gain some resources. So before we collect our resources, you're first supposed to sabotage each EC. Now, we haven't spoken about the ECs much in this game because we really haven't been affecting them. But there are 3 of them, and if I have any pieces in there and they happen to exceed the number of cubes in the same space, then I can sabotage them and basically keep Naveen from gaining resources.
These are economic centers that are feeding the government's kind of money machine right there.
So then, starting with the government, they gain the value of the ECs plus aid. So on sabotage ECs, that's 3 plus 3 plus 2. It's a total of 8.
So I go from 24 to 32.
24 to 32.
and then now aid
is 15.
Yeah, 15 is good.
No.
It's almost too much money coming
32 plus 15 is 47.
Yeah.
I am in trouble. Then the 26th July gains 1 per base. I only have 1 base, so that's 1 resource.
Yep.
The Directorio, on the other hand, gains 1 resource per space that they're in. I'm in 1, 2, 3.
3 spaces.
So it's 3 spaces. You removed my 4th.
I did.
Which was always going to happen, I guess. And finally, the syndicate. And so we first check each city and EC for any spaces that the syndicate guerrillas outnumber police. And I don't think that's true in any space,
that's not
right?
The case, no.
So then it's just twice the number of open casinos.
Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3 open casinos times 2, so it's going to be 6 resources.
That's good. But we're not done with the syndicate because there is skimming. So in each space within open casino, the controlling faction of that space actually gets to take 2 resources from the syndicate.
Yeah.
So it looks like you control both of these spaces.
Not the case where these open casinos are, but the government is kind of providing a little protection, so they're going to skim a little cash from the syndicate. So I'm going to lose 2 resources. So it's down 2 resources, and then 2 go to the government.
So now you are max.
I am max.
Cannot go above
which
49.
is a little bit of a problem, which is going to be the next thing.
It's fantastic because the next thing is cash.
Cash markers.
So you have 4 cash markers.
So one of the cash markers was one of my early actions, and I put it with this troop over here in Havana.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, I cannot have more than 49 resources.
Right.
So this cash marker would normally give 6 resources to the controlling faction who has it. This is a waste. That's going to go back. But we have 3 cash markers with syndicate guerrillas. 1, 2, and 3. So that's going to be 18 resources coming my way.
Okay. I believe, though, okay, let's give you your resources
Sure.
as a syndicate.
Uh-huh.
I believe you can use a cash marker to place a base. Now, you wouldn't put a base in the cities,
No,
but just
they
know
act
that
like bases.
that is another option for cash. You can either exchange it for resources or replace it with a base.
Yeah, so if that cash was here with this troop,
Yeah.
then I could put a base here, which is one of my 2 that I have in my reserve.
Right. And that is it for resources. So we move on to support. And the first thing that we're going to do is degrade the U.S. alliance box if total support is less than 18.
It is.
So it is, unfortunately,
So they are reluctantly supporting us now at this point.
which means all of the government's actions will now cost 3 resources instead of 2.
Right.
So things just got a
More
lot more
expensive,
expensive. And you also drop aid down
10.
by 10. So 15
So I'll go underneath you.
will go to 5. Thank
go.
you. So it'll
Okay.
be, this is nice now, but it'll be more difficult for the government to gain resources.
It shall crumble.
Okay, so then moving on to civic actions. This is something the government can do with your bountiful amount of resources.
Oh, yeah.
Would you like to pay to do civic actions?
Yeah, so we want to nurture kind of our relations with the public and with the support of the communities. So I'm going to perform civic actions here. It's going to cost me 4 resources per civic action. And for every terror marker that's there, it's going to cost 4 resources basically to get rid of the terror marker and then slowly move my way up to active support. So I'm going to spend a total of 4 plus another 4 to flip this to active support. So I'm going to spend a total of 8 to get Havana to active support.
All right, so
this-
you're at 41. And so this went from passive to active?
Correct. So I'm
you
going
go
to
up by
get 6 because the population is 6. So it's another level.
So now you're at 18.
Yeah. And then, you know what? I'll do it in Camaway. Why not? So I'm going
Okay.
to go from passive to active.
Okay.
There we are.
So
And
that's,
so now that's another 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So I'd like that cash marker back.
1 point
1 point.
for Camaway.
They're
Now,
at a winning condition.
those are the only options, really,
Yeah.
because you had to have control, you had to have troops and police in that space. So,
Yeah.
and now it's going to be so much harder to get back into Havana. Anywho, moving on to the 26th July, I have agitation, which is essentially the same thing, except for the 26th July, meaning I get to shift spaces towards active opposition, but
Right.
only spaces that I control.
So those are these 2 locations.
These 2 are technically controlled this location, but it's already at active opposition.
Right.
So I'm going to agitate in both spaces. Here, I'm going to do it twice
It's going to cost you
because
2 resources. 1,
thank
2.
you. And it's twice because I have to go to passive and then to active opposition.
Neutral to passive, passive to active. Yeah.
And doing this gains me 4 points.
Yeah. 2 times 2 is 4. Whoa. Okay. So 5
I'm
to
at
9.
9.
Yeah.
And the same for Matanzas, but just once because
One
it's already
resource.
at passive.
Okay.
And that gains me 1
Another
point.
So you got 10 total.
So I'm
huh?
at 10.
Yeah.
So not great,
That's good.
but
That's
not
good.
horrible.
Yeah, you're moving.
Then we have the Directorio with expat backing. So the Directorio is allowed to free rally in 1 space, but it can only be controlled by either the Directorio or nobody else. So right now that's only in these 2 spaces. I'm going to free rally into Oriente.
Yeah, that
Just
sounds
gonna
good.
leave it just like that.
It's a good looking spot.
And that's it for support. So now we move on to redeploy. This is entirely the government. You have to basically relocate that troop.
Yeah, you have to vacate areas that are in the provinces, the
Yes.
non-cities, where you have cubes that are not next to a base. So if I had this
Yes.
base in here, then I can anchor myself there.
Right.
And these bases basically act like other cities, but
Yes.
because I never established a base there, I got to get out of there. So I'm going to go ahead and move this troop on into Santiago de Cuba. I see you have a base there. This is kind of your hub, so I don't like
I don't
that.
have a base here.
Well, no, here.
Oh, yes,
Close
yes.
enough,
Yes.
yeah.
Sure, that's true.
I don't like what you got going on over there. And then I can actually move around some of my other cubes. So I think I want to bring another troop from Havana into Camaway right here. So that way it's nice and even, 2 and 2.
It was missing exactly 1 troop.
I think so.
I see.
Yeah.
Done?
That's it.
All right, so then we just go ahead and reset. So now all 4 factions are eligible.
Yep.
If there are any terror or sabotage markers, then we would remove them
them
at
off.
this point. We also flip over any active guerrillas.
You do.
And I believe your casinos are all open.
Open, yeah. So now
right?
we have 4 open casinos. So there we are.
Yeah, 4 open casinos.
4. I need to get to 8.
And I think that's it.
Yep.
So now this is the next card. It's
Back
going
to
to be
practice.
the 26th July
Yeah.
1st,
All right. What do we got next?
followed by Herbert
Ooh,
Matthews.
one of mine.
So this is Syndicate card, 26th July resources plus 5, aid minus 6, or aid plus 10. Directorial resources plus 3, and Syndicate
Ooh.
resources plus 5.
Whoa.
So there's a little bit on there
some juice
for
on there, yeah.
everyone.
Okay.
All right. So then, as the 26th July, and hold on, let me just put this back.
Yep.
I'm going to do an up with special activity. And I feel like I have to take advantage of the fact that I'm still in a city. So I'm going to do a terror and kidnap. So I can only really do it in 2 places because everything else is already in active opposition. So I'm going to do it here as well as here. It's anywhere that I have underground guerrillas. So it's going to be
1,
minus
2.
2.
2 resources?
I'm going to flip
Face
this face up. This brings you down to passive support. Just 1
Lose
point.
1. Yeah.
You can spare a
I
point.
don't want to spare a point.
The second one is here, where I will also be doing my special activity, which is kidnap.
You're robbing a casino.
I would love to have robbed the government, but because you have so many resources, but there are no valid spaces for that.
So you're going to turn yourself up, face up.
I'm turning it face up.
And then by doing the terror here, so we do need terror markers
We
on these 2
do.
locations. This
So
passive support becomes neutral.
The terror marker I placed in Santiago de Cuba,
Because it goes neutral, it goes down to 17, unfortunately.
and that also gains a terror marker.
It does.
And I had to choose either of these 2 spaces for kidnap because it has to be a space selected for a terror op, which is why I'm choosing this one. And I'm basically going to roll a die.
So you're shutting down this casino, so
I'm
it
shutting
closes.
down the casino.
We're now 1-1, so there is no control here, so Syndicate loses control.
Yes. And I'm technically supposed to roll the die first. So
Okay.
shall we have the
Sure.
dice tray? And again, whatever I roll is the amount of resources I steal from the syndicate.
Roll a 1.
So hopefully it's a 6,
Roll a
please.
1.
Oh my
1.
gosh.
So I lose. So she stole 1 resource from
One
me.
whole
And
resource.
1 to there.
Wow.
Well, that's best case scenario
is
in
a
that situation.
bit
but I'll take that.
Tough
Yeah,
right now.
That was great.
All right. Well, then it goes to the Directorio. I'm not on the next card, so I might as well take this. I'm not going to take the event,
Okay.
but I will do a limited op.
Okay.
And I'm just going to build a base.
Yeah.
Because,
Building,
well,
building
hold
a
on.
base is good.
I have time to build the base.
Okay.
I think. So I'm going to do a terror up there as well. So that's 1 resource.
Ah, yes, you are.
I'm going to add the terror marker. Let's not forget that this time. Flip this one to active, and then now you go to passive, which is 1 more point.
Very lovely.
So still doing well there, Naveen.
Yeah. So you
don't
spent
have
the
to
resource,
worry.
correct?
I did. I spent 1 resource for that.
All right.
So that is it.
Oh, that's great.
That's all for both of my factions, so they become ineligible. You're going to get to do some great things for yourself.
It really depends on what the next
With
card says. That's
this
that is the name of the game.
next event, that's
the,
true.
The cards pull you in a different direction.
Ready?
Yes.
It is Operation Fisherman. So this is a 26 July forward card.
Okay.
Place a 26 July base and guerrilla in Pinar del Rio.
Oh, how lovely.
That would be beautiful.
Yeah.
Or shift Pinar del Rio 2 levels towards active support.
Which it already is.
Okay. So then it is to you as the syndicate. And I think I closed the casino.
You did. Yep.
So you should be at 3.
3 casinos.
1, 2, 3 open casinos.
3 open casinos. Okay. Well, I'm going to take the event, Herbert Matthews, and I'm going to do the one that favors
The top
me.
one?
No. Please.
So aid plus 10.
Yes. So 8 is going to go back to 10 or
To 15.
back to 15.
Ugh,
Yeah.
that's so bad. That is so bad for me.
Oh, that's good.
Directorial resources
Yeah, you
plus
get 3.
3.
Look
I
at
do
that.
like that.
See, that's some passive something in there.
And then syndicate resources
5.
plus 5.
There we go. So it's just a little collection, you know?
Yeah,
It's just
a
a
little
setup.
bit for everyone except for the 26th July.
Then we are going to do op with special activity, definitely. And we are going to do some training.
Okay.
So with training, we're going to train in Camagüey and Santiago de Cuba. So because my U.S. alliance is at 3, that's going to cost me 3 plus another 3. That's 6 resources.
Okay,
So
so
31.
31.
So it's going to erode fast, the resources.
Yeah, well, you just got some aid for some reason.
Yes.
So
So when I train in these locations, I can bring up to 4 cubes from this kind of available forces section and put them into this these 2 locations. So I'm going to bring 3 troops into here and 1 police.
okay.
And then I'm going to do the same exact thing, but 2 and 2 now in the south over here.
Okay.
There we are. So we have now trained.
Okay.
And then I can do what's called buying civic action. So if I have control, troops, and police, just like I did during propaganda, I can spend up 4 resources to get to active support for each terror marker. I have to spend 4.
Yes.
And then to go from passive to active, I have to spend another 4. So that's 8.
So 31 down to 23.
Correct.
Okay,
and then I'm going to...
Wait, let's give yourself some points.
Yes. I get 1 point here.
Yes. Nice.
And I'm going to literally do it over here, the exact same math. So it's another 8. So 23 by 8 is going to be 15. Yeah. So there goes the money.
Well, at least you're at full active now.
Yeah. So we got rid of the terror and then we went from passive to active. And, we'll see what happens with me. I feel like, it's a little scary.
Okay.
So I'm going to transport as my special activity into Las Vegas. So I'm going to send 3 troops from Camagüey City into Las Vegas. You no longer have control. The government actually gains control there because
so
3
proud.
to 2.
So proud are you?
There we are. We're doing things.
That is unfortunate, but honestly,
it's a move.
it's a move. It's a move that you've been waiting to do.
Yeah.
All right. Are you done?
Yeah, I start the game with 3 there, so I feel like the game
No,
wants me to do this.
It doesn't owe you
It's telling me,
anything.
go back.
Okay. Anywho,
Yeah.
Operation Fisherman is coming down, so I'm next as the 26th July.
You are?
And then propaganda.
Oh no.
Whoa. That is hilarious because you have to
I mean, it didn't cost me anything, but
you have to leave. That is so funny.
oh wow.
After all that,
Wow. Wow.
we are at propaganda again. So, well, I get to take the last 2 turns before propaganda, which makes me feel some sort of relief.
Yeah.
Well, I think this event is a good opportunity to get into Pinar del Rio because it's been pretty impenetrable until now. So it says place a 26th July base. I'm going to do that. I'm going to take the event as a 26th July. I can place a 26th July base and a guerrilla
Look
in
at you.
Pinar del Rio. It doesn't change anything.
It does change
I'm just
something. You get
hanging
a
out.
point. You get a victory point.
I do, yes, because it is a base.
Opposition
But it
plus
doesn't
bases.
change what you have going
Oh
on.
no,
over
it
there.
changes things. I don't like it.
And that is the only thing. Oh my goodness, that is so funny. I also just realized that I'm
my
going to flip
work.
underground.
Yes, all my work of that whole thing, the whole training,
All that
civic
money.
actions.
But you get a do-over on the aid, so that's actually pretty nice. Is this gorilla in here?
It's in there, yeah.
Okay, let's just make sure.
Wow.
All right, so that is it for the 26th July. Then it is the directorio with an op and special activity. I think I'm just going to have to rally
Okay.
and subvert.
Yeah.
So I'm going to rally in 2 places. It's going to be Oriente,
Okay.
and I'm going to build a base.
So that's another
So
point for
1
you.
point
Yeah.
for the DR.
So DR population
bases.
plus bases.
Yes, and I do have to spend a resource. I'm going to go ahead and subvert in that location as well, just to gain me
So that's a special activity.
that special activity.
Okay.
So
Are
I
you
gain
doing
my
any
2
more rallying?
resources again, and I'm going to rally in La Habana.
Yeah, why not? What's
Why not?
another gorilla there? So there you
Yes,
go.
that'll
One
gain
that's
me
gonna
additional
Cost you a
resources.
resource though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That'll gain me additional resources during propaganda.
Yeah, you might as well.
All right, that is it. I think those are the only legal places that I can rally into right now.
Correct,
Because
yeah.
everything is so
Everything's on the
hot.
extremes, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so then everybody
Well, that
becomes
stinks.
ineligible, and we are at our second propaganda. This is quite early, so there's
you're-
going to be a lot of cards before the next one.
If you're not familiar with this game, every time we go to propaganda, it causes the government's next actions to get more expensive.
I'm very excited.
know,
Okay, so this is the next
Please
card.
be my card.
It's the
Okay,
syndicate card.
okay,
This is all you, Turismo. Support one level towards neutral each casino space.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
I
this
won't. I
is-
will not do that.
Or government and syndicate each add +3 resources per space with open casino and police.
Okay.
So
Each
keep
space
that in
with
mind.
Open casino and police. Okay.
Yeah, and you both get that. Wow, you have so many resources this game.
Okay, that might be something we'll do.
It's wild. Anyway, this is our second propaganda now, so we're just going to kind of go through the motions. Victory.
no.
I don't think anybody is there yet. You're so close as a government.
Yeah.
So resources. So same thing about the ECs. Nobody's in them. None of them get sabotaged.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So you're going to get the full 8.
That is the one positive thing there. Yeah.
There's lots of positives plus aid.
So,
So
8 plus
23.
15. So 23, yeah.
23 plus 15.
So that's what, 37?
37.
Yeah, that's good. That's pretty good.
That's great for you. So now it goes to 26 July. Number of bases. I
2.
did gain an additional
One
base.
base. One base, so you
Yes.
get 2.
So I get 2 resources.
Very good.
Much needed. Then we go to the directorio, and again, number of spaces. It has pieces 1, 2, 3, 4. So
And
4
go from
resources
5 to 9. Very
for
good.
the directorio. And finally, the syndicate. Again, there are no areas where your guerrillas outnumber police. So it's twice the number of open casinos.
So we have 3 casinos, so 6. Yep,
So 6 to 32.
correct.
And then we have skimming. So open casino is here, but you control it.
control it.
You have an open casino here.
So the government is here, so +2, and then -2 to the syndicate.
-2 because the
And then
government controls it.
Same situation here, so -2 +2.
-2
+2.
+2. Nice.
There you go.
And you did not put out any cash this time around.
Didn't have an
so
opportunity.
there's
Yeah,
no
it
time.
happened too fast.
So we're going to skip that part. We're going to go to support.
Okay.
So if total support is 18 or less, which it is, degrade the U.S. alliance box.
Good terror over here, because if not, I would have been at 19 and I would not have to degrade.
Oh,
so that was a good
key. That was key.
So fast propaganda is not too bad unless I'm 18 or less. So
Yeah.
we are now embargoed. So what that means is every time I take an action, it's going to cost 4 resources per location
Very
I do
expensive.
that. Versus, so it's basically double from the beginning of the game. And in addition to this, when you are embargoed as the government, you cannot perform the special activity that's called airstrike. So that's a bummer.
Yes. And I don't think have you been able to do that
I
yet?
wanted to, but I have not yet.
Good. Then we move on to civic actions, but correct me if I'm wrong. I don't see a place where you can perform any.
No, it would have to
right?
be
They're
by
all
control,
active.
police, and troops, and I have all those situations here. Unfortunately, I do have control, but no police are in Las Vegas.
Right. And same thing goes for the 26th July. There are no spaces where I can agitate because all the spaces I control are already at active opposition.
Right.
So then to the directorio with expat backing. Now, again, I can free rally in a space that either I control, so it's either these two, or a space that's neutral. So I think I'm going to go into La Habana.
Correct.
It's getting a little full in here.
So there's still no control here because
Right.
total. We can ignore this closed casino as of right now. There's 4 pieces here, and it's 2-1-1.
Yeah.
So you would have to have a third piece to outnumber the other 2 gorillas.
Right. And that is it. So hilariously, you
Redeploy,
must
huh?
redeploy, get out.
Get out, she
Yes,
says.
please.
All right, 1. Seeing that there's a little buildup over here. Well, let's make 2 actually, and then we'll bring 1 into Camoy City. There we go.
Okay.
Oh man,
Done?
that's it.
All right. So let's reset all
everybody-
factions.
All the terror markers come off the board.
eligible, yes.
So 1, because I did the civic actions here.
Are there any other ones?
It was the civic actions that I had done, so they're gone.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see. So they're already gone. Okay. So then let's flip the gorillas
Yeah, your little
underground.
gorillas go underground. Casino's open, so now I'm back to 4 points.
Yes.
So that's kind of nice.
You missed one.
Did I? Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And that is it for our second propaganda. So now we are going to see, you are going to go first as a syndicate.
First and
with
potentially
Turismo.
second, but we'll see what this next card holds.
It is Raul. So this is
Raul.
an insurgent capability,
Uh-oh.
which says 26 July may re-roll each attack or kidnap, or until propaganda, add to aid twice any resources from kidnap. Now, that would be a government momentum. And so if you're not familiar with the game, an insurgent capability is an ability that I will have for the rest of the game if I choose to take this event. And a government momentum is only until the next propaganda. So it's a bit temporary.
Yikes.
All right.
Well, 2 propagandas down. On the 4th one would be the very end of the game. So since that second propaganda came so early, I think we're going to have a pretty large gap, I'm assuming,
Yeah,
between propagandas
probably.
for the 3rd one. So I guess we'll see. Now we go into actions, but before we do, we realize we forgot to drop the aid down by 10
To 5.
to 5. And then also when I had to redeploy and got out of Las Vegas, I lost government control. And unfortunately, you gained control there.
Wahaha.
Well, we have Turismo up. I like the fact that I'm second on that next card, so I'm actually going to pass as the
Okay.
syndicate to start off. Starting off real strong with the pass.
One resource.
1 resource. And then I'm going to go ahead and do an op only, no special activity.
Oh, so you're saying no one gets this event.
Nobody's getting that event.
Okay.
I did like the idea of getting more resources, but really I would only get 6 total resources because I have open casinos with police only here.
Okay.
So it wasn't as juicy as I would have liked it.
see.
But I am going to do the sweep action in these 2 locations here.
Aha.
So it's going to cost me a total of 4 times 2, 8 resources. So do you mind helping me out
Sure.
there?
So to 33.
33.
Okay.
And then we are exposing gorilla. Exposing gorilla. This, I just want to be done with cities and gorillas. Please, let's fight over the provinces.
Yeah. No. I don't
You don't see it that way?
I don't see it that way.
Oh,
Okay.
Well,
That
that's it.
well then it goes to me for a limited op. Ugh. So then I will do the limited op.
Okay.
And I'm just going to rally in Oriente. So here, because I have a base, I'll be able to place 2 plus 1 for the base because it's population plus bases.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a total of 3.
Yeah, and every faction rallies a little bit differently, and
Right.
that's specifically how the Directorio does it.
So that is it. These 2 are ineligible.
Eligible?
Yeah. And we have a new card. So Raul comes down. It's
Yep.
going to be the 26th July. And next up, we have
Ooh.
Escopeteros. So locals start their own revolution. Place any non-casino base and any 1 guerrilla into a mountain.
Okay.
Or shift a mountain space 1 level towards active support.
Oh,
Ha!
really?
Interesting. So then, I think I'm actually going to do an op with special activity.
Ooh, interesting.
As nice as this
No
insurgent capability
rerolls,
is,
huh?
to be able to re-roll each attacker kidnap, that is
You already rolled a 1.
very,
once?
very useful. But there are some other things, I suppose, I'd like to do.
Okay.
And I will do a terror and kidnap. So this is, I'm hoping, because I'm assuming you're going to take this, I'm hoping this is the only kidnap I'll have to do before the next propaganda.
We'll see.
So I'm going to do a terror in 2 spaces. It's going to be these 2
Okay.
and kidnap in this space.
Gotcha.
So it's going to cost a total of 2 resources. 1, 2. Let's start with here.
Okay.
So this is going to shift 1 up to passive. Opposition.
Yeah.
We'll also
You're gonna
place a terror marker
And expose yourself.
and expose, yes, the gorilla, and then I'm going to go up by 1 point.
Here. You do.
Same goes for this spot here. So Pinar del Rio gets a terror marker.
We're going to go
I'm going to flip this.
passive support.
Yes. And what's the population?
Just 1.
1?
Yeah.
Okay, so you go down by 1.
1.
And then I'm going to kidnap here because there's an open casino. So I'm going to be kidnapping from the syndicate. Hopefully we roll high because last time I rolled a 1.
Let's roll
And-
a 1.
Oh,
shall
please.
we?
This feels like the only time I'll be able to do this.
Let's do a 1.
Please.
5.
Okay.
Well, that's a good
I will
one.
do,
5
I will
is a
definitely,
good number.
I'm happy with that. So
Second
29,
best.
so to 24.
All right, look at
Then
you.
I go up to
10.
10. All right.
That didn't feel very
Hopefully
good.
I don't have to do that again until after the next propaganda.
Come on.
So
Who wants that?
that's it for
You.
me.
And I closed the casino, unfortunately.
Yes,
here.
you close the casino. Thank you.
So I'm back to 3.
open casinos go down.
To 3 casinos.
All right. Speaking of, the syndicate is next with either the event or limited up, whichever you'd like.
Well, don't really like what happened there, and I really don't like these casinos just kind of hanging out over here. So I am going to take the limited op and do my
Oh.
1 construct action. So it's going to cost me 5 resources, the 5 you stole from me, plus another 5. So it's really like 10 resources. But I'm going to construct another casino, and we are just going to tuck it away into Camaway City right over here.
course.
It's going to be nice and closed until it opens.
Wow, I am so shocked. I was certain that you were going to take the event, so now I don't have to worry about that.
That, yeah, it's nice, but I need to get with the early propaganda.
Yeah.
I need to get these casino tokens out
Right.
onto the board.
Okay. All right. Well, that's that.
that,
So
yeah.
we have new
May this next card put you in conflict, Monique. All right.
Escopeteros, which means the Directorio will be going next.
Yeah,
And then
it's me. Oh,
Coup.
cool.
So this is one of the government's cards. Shift all government-controlled spaces 1 level towards neutral,
Yeah, no.
but your U.S. alliance goes up 1 box.
No.
Or you can activate and free assault all DR pieces in cities with cubes. U.S. alliance down 1 box. Oh, that's not horrible.
It would only be here. It's nothing. I could already assault.
Yeah. As a Directorio, I think I'm going to take the event.
Okay, what does it
So the event is Escopeteros, which gives you the option of either placing any non-casino base and any 1 guerrilla into a mountain,
say? Yep.
or I can shift a mountain space 1 level towards active support. So I'm
clearly you're
definitely
not
not
doing
doing that.
Yep.
The mountain spaces are going to be Las Villas and Sierra Maestra.
Right. These brownish colors.
Yes, those
these
brownish
are the
colors. Mm-hmm.
forests, the darker green, and then everything else is just
plains.
plains. Yeah.
So I'm going to choose this mountain space, Las Villas,
Okay.
and I'm going to put a 26
Oh,
July
you're gonna do something for somebody else.
base
Oh,
and
wow, and a gorilla.
gorilla.
That's a point
into
for
there.
you.
So that's a point for the 26 July.
Yeah, I see
All
you
right.
doing that. Okay.
That's it. So now it goes to the government for an op with special activity.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take that op and special activity, and we are going to perform a sweep in this location. We're only going to do it in one particular location.
Okay.
So I'm going to
So that
sweep
4 resources?
4 resources. Yeah, every single type of action
All
is
right,
going to
so
do that.
29.
I'm going to sweep by moving these troops into this very tiny strip of land. So this will represent that they are all in La Habana. That way we can see still clearly.
Okay.
And now, by me doing that, there's 6 of my government pieces to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other pieces. So we are going to go ahead and get control here. And the importance of having control is because the special activity I'm going to perform is called reprisal. Reprisal essentially allows me to kick out a guerrilla into an adjacent location. So I'm going to kick out your red one
Okay.
right on over here into Matanzas.
Okay.
So now if you want to come back in, you're going to have to march in or rally back in.
And be active.
Yeah, but the thing is about reprisal is we are going to add a terra marker to the selected space and shift opposition 1 level towards neutral.
Oh, okay.
And then I relocated that 1 guerrilla. So we add another terra marker here, and then this passive becomes neutral now. So that's kind of one
So I
way
lost
that I
a
can
point.
take away. You did lose a point that way, yeah.
Okay, so now I'm at 12.
And so government still has control here. It's a 6-4. And by the way, I forgot to do the sweep portion, which is basically activate the guerrilla. So this one that I kicked out in the reprisal, that was already activated. So all these guerrillas come face up. And unfortunately, this one comes face up as well.
All right.
My friend.
Done?
That's it.
Okay, so that is the end of this
Yep.
card.
Inactive to active. There
It
we
is
go.
now us two beginning with the syndicate,
Okay.
with the coup card, and afterwards we have Echeverria. So place
is this?
2 DR guerrillas anywhere, set Havana to neutral, DR to eligible.
Hate that card.
Or remove the 2 DR pieces closest to Havana, DR resources -3.
That's a bad card.
It's great.
That's not a good card for the
Fantastic.
government.
A fan favorite, in fact.
Well, I don't like the events, and I don't like you having the access to the event or a special activity. I'm going to go first faction op only, no special activity.
Of course.
And I'm going to do a double construct. We are going to construct 2 casinos. We're going to put 1 in Camoy City and 1 in Santiago de Cuba. Each one costs 5, so we are going to go from 19 down to 9.
To 9.
But we have 2 coming in, so here we are.
All right.
We're trying.
And you can only have max
2.
2 casinos
Yeah,
per space. Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, good. So I guess I'll take the limited op.
Okay.
And I'm just going to rally in Las Villas.
It's going to cost you a resource.
Please.
So we're all
Thank you.
stacked up at 9 here.
Right. And since I have a base here, I can actually rally in twice the population plus twice spaces.
So 6.
So up to 6 max. I'm just going to.
All the red.
No reason not to.
Look at you.
Really.
Hanging out in both
Truly.
mountains.
That's it.
Well, that's scary.
So
That's not good.
we do some flipping.
Come on.
This card
Something
comes
to
down.
put you in conflict. Something in major conflict for you. I do not like that event.
Oh,
what
La
is-
Razabal.
what
Place
is-
26 July base where there is a 26 July piece. Or remove one 26 July base and 26 July resources -3. Wow, 26 July. Okay.
Yep.
Well, it is the Directorio's turn.
Okay.
And I'm clearly going to take this event. This is one of those like once in a lifetime opportunities. You
it.
have to take it when it shows up. So
Probably your
Echeverria,
best card, right?
Place probably.
Yeah.
Place 2 DR guerrillas anywhere, Havana to neutral, and the DR stays eligible.
Which is
Wow.
good because you're the last on the next card, which is fantastic. So staying eligible means she does not go into this box. She would come right back in over
Yeah,
here.
but it wasn't a very good card to follow.
Yep.
So I'm going to place 1 DR guerrilla in Pinar del Rio and the other one in Havana. And then it sets Havana to neutral.
It does, unfortunately.
So that's minus
So
12.
away goes 12.
So what is that? 5?
17 down to 5.
Boom. Okay.
This card is known in this game. If you're the government, you know it's coming at some point.
It's coming at some
you gotta,
point.
you know.
Okay. That's it.
Yes.
So, well, now you can have an op with special activity.
Yeah. Well, I have to do the op that allows me to get this right back to active support, so you can't just leak in on the next one. So I'm going to go and train. We're going to train here. It's going to cost me 4 resources. So go down by 4.
To 25?
Yeah, so I'm going to bring in up to 4 cubes. Why not just bring in the last 4 police officers? So we're training there. And then because I have control, I have at least a troop. That's why I left one back. Because I know this exists. And a bunch of police there.
Yes.
I'm going to buy 2 civic actions. I am going to convince the public to support me by spending 8 resources, 4 to go to passive support, another 4 to go to active support, and essentially undo this part that you did.
Okay.
This part is the part that I cannot undo on this turn, unfortunately.
Okay, so you
Well,
do
there
go
you
back up.
I'll take my
You're
12 points back.
12 points.
Sheesh.
Okay, I'll put this at the bottom.
Thank
there you
you,
go.
yeah.
So back to 17.
Okay, so now, and then the special activity I'm going to do is reprisal, so I can move up to 3 troops from a city or base into any location. So I am going to go ahead and take 3 troops from here, and we are going to send them on over to Matanzas.
Whoa.
There we are.
Wow, that's shocking.
Hello. So that wraps up the turn. We are going to put these 2 ineligible. These 2 are now eligible. And
All right.
what
So
kind of conflict can we create on this next card, please?
I am next as 26 July, and then
It's yours.
come comrades, place 3 26 July guerrillas anywhere,
Okay.
or add lesser of aid or plus 10 to government resources, then aid plus 5.
Ooh.
Ah,
That is good.
this is
Ooh, that's
bad.
good.
This is so bad right now. This is true conflict. Wait, wasn't there a card that said that the DR stays eligible? I'm still eligible. This is
Oh, yeah,
actually
yeah, yeah.
important.
You are eligible.
Because
That's right.
if I choose to pass as a 26 July, then I will be on this card. You know, this might be a mistake, but I am going to pass. I'm just going to do it. It's not an easy decision to make, but I'm
Pass,
going
huh?
with it.
You
So
pass.
that actually means you are next as a syndicate.
Well, I think I'm going to rally. So I'm going to take the op with special activity. And we're going to rally in 2 places. I want to rally in Santiago de Cuba as 1. And then
Okay.
the other one is going to be retiring this one. So anyone that's exposed face up, you can retire them since I'm limited on how many guerrillas I have. And they essentially just come back on the board. So I'm just going to put it right back face down there. And then this one over here.
Okay. So
Or you know what?
that's
Sorry, instead of putting it there, I'm going to bring this one into Camway, actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, so I'll leave that one over there. So the one that was retired came into Camway City.
Okay.
It's going to cost 2 resources, 1, 2. And the special activity I'm going to do, which I feel like I haven't done in a very long time, is going to be profit. So I'm going to take 2 cash markers. I'm just going to go ahead and keep it with one of these police officers here in Havana City. And then instead of giving it to a guerrilla, I am going to give it to another one over here. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
You're going to give it to the government?
The government, yeah, because I feel like you're going to be very expensive for the government.
So then it's to the Directorio, who actually, I guess I actually get to go on this card.
Yeah.
And I will take the event. So the first option here says I can place a 26 July base where there is a 26 July piece. So I'm just going to do that
Okay.
for the 26 July. I'm placing this base. I guess I'll place it in Las Villas
Yeah.
because it's heavily
Save you in
protected.
action, yeah.
So I'm going to get 1 point for placing out that base.
Okay.
And that's it because that's all the event does.
Yes.
So you're now eligible with me.
Okay.
Come Comrades is coming
Come on,
down.
something that like forces you to do something else. Okay.
Rolando Mas
I'll take
Ferrer.
mine.
So set a province with troops and 1 adjacent province to passive opposition.
Ooh.
Or or government momentum. Sweep may free assault 1 space as its special activity until propaganda.
Oh, okay. Sweep may free assault. Whoa.
And before I take my turn, let's just check the state of the board because I'm seeing some areas where we haven't adjusted control.
This one right here?
Yes.
So it's 1, 2, 3 face down guerrillas. This casino again is closed to 3, so nobody has control here.
That's uncontrolled.
So there we
Okay.
go.
This the government controls.
Yep.
Clearly.
And
This
then
one the government controls as well.
Yeah, so you lose that one. That's
Yeah.
right. Okay.
I lose that too. The government. The government controls it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We need a government
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
Good call.
So I think that's it. All right. Well, I am taking the event as the 26 July. Come Comrades. Place 3 26 July guerrillas anywhere. So similar to how Naveen retired some of his guerrillas, I will do the same. I'm just going to take
So you're
3
retiring
guerrillas
3
from here.
Las Villas.
Yes,
okay.
from Las Villas, retiring them, and then I'm going to place them anywhere. So 1 in Havana,
Amazing.
1 in La Havana,
Great.
and 1 in Pinar del Rio. That's it. I don't think anything changes. So it is to you, up with special activity.
Government, what are we doing? Seeing as the next card, if I take an action, yellow goes first, and they can definitely activate that first thing. Set a province with troops and an adjacent province to basically Monique's best case scenario.
Passive. It's passive opposition.
Oh, second best case scenario.
second
So
best,
it
yeah.
would be 1 point, and then this would be a 2 point swing because it would go from passive support to neutral to passive opposition.
Well, you shouldn't have put troops right there.
You got to put the troops, though. Man. Okay, so I think I have to pass here, unfortunately.
Okay.
So I will pass and collect 3 resources.
Nice, I got the free event.
You did 17 to 20. That's not what you want to have happen. You want to be able to counteract people's awesome events with opportunities to do like your special activities and things like that. And I'm not doing that right now. So we are going to see the next card, though. So
Plus, the other thing that's not ideal for you is this is going to be 2 cards now
Correct.
that the syndicate is sitting out.
yeah, the syndicate has not really mixed it up too much. So I'm hoping, I'm hoping when the casinos open up,
So this is going to come down, and it'll be the government
come on,
first.
something in
Followed
conflict for you.
by Pact
There
of
we go.
Miami. So this
Okay.
is one of the syndicate cards. Remove 2 guerrillas, government ineligible through the next card.
Well,
or
that's not-
26 July and Directorio each lose -3 resources and are ineligible through next
I like that
card.
card. I like that card
Oh no!
better.
I am speechless. Oh,
So lose
my
resources,
gosh.
and both of you don't get to go the next card.
This is so bad.
Well, I'm going to do something that is probably expected here. I am going to take the op only, no special activity,
Ah,
because I do not want you to
brutal.
have that event. And so, gosh, that government momentum is actually pretty good. Sweep May free assault as its special activity until propaganda. When is propaganda going to happen? I don't know, but I'm going to do the op only, no special activity.
Okay.
We're going to sweep in place in Havana. It's going to cost 4 resources, 20 down to 16.
Okay.
So then these 2 folks get exposed for who they are.
Wow. I did that thinking you were going to take the event.
There we go.
That really, because now I have a limited op, and then I'm going to be ineligible for 2 cards, basically. So I guess I'll take the limited op,
Yep.
and I'm going to rally in 1 spot. So 9 goes down to 8, and I'm just going to turn this
Ooh,
into
base.
a second base. So
another
that's
point.
a point
Yep.
for the Directorio. That had to happen
that.
at some point. What better time than now,
Yeah.
I suppose?
Okay.
Okay.
So boom.
So time for the
Boom.
terrible thing to happen.
Come on. What's the
Back to
next
Miami
card?
comes down. Please be something not, I don't know, sim.
Sim. Okay.
Remove support from a space with no police.
Mm.
Or until next propaganda, police sweep and assault as if troops is government momentum card.
That's a good card, but I don't know when
That's
the next
not
propaganda is.
that's not bad. I'm glad that it wasn't something, juicier for my factions because I'm going to be ineligible through it if
Yeah,
you decide
I'm
to
definitely
take
going
that.
to take the event. So
All
let's
right.
just go ahead and do it now. So the one that basically hurts your whole
Both of my
situation. Yeah.
factions are -3 resources. So I go down to 5 and this
10
goes
to
down
7.
to 7.
Okay.
And I'm ineligible through the next card.
So then you'll be here and here. So
That's pretty much it.
In this turn and in the next one, you'll be out. So
I mean, I guess the good thing is you wasted your entire turn doing that.
I did.
so
I did.
It's not amazing either. All right, Sim comes down.
I think of it as like a Robin Hood, like I stole from you and then gave away, but I don't have possession of it. Something like
You're
that.
equating that to Robin Hood.
Yeah, a
It's
little
not.
something like that.
Not at all.
We
Ready?
don't see the,
I'm going to flip
Yeah,
this.
okay.
Defections.
So you're not on that card.
The DR is.
Oh, you are on that card.
Yes, this card is the beginning of when.
Yeah, what does
we
that
start
say?
taking
That
turns.
looks bad.
In a space already occupied by your pieces and those of an enemy, replace 2 of the enemy's gorillas or cubes with your gorillas or cubes.
Little swap skis, huh?
Little swap skis.
Mm.
So we're not going to be eligible until that card. But the thing
But
that's
it looks
nice.
like you're going to go back to back on
is-
it or something.
No, you'll be eligible
be
there
there.
too. So
Okay.
it'll be the Directorio and then the Syndicate.
Yeah.
But at least the Directorio gets to go first.
Okay, it's time to do an op with special activity, and we are going to do. We're going to do an assault. It's time to assault.
Okay.
These cities need to be taken care of. So we're going to assault in all the cities, basically 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. So
Okay.
12 resources.
12 resources. So
So you
my
go down
16 to
to
4. So
4.
this is where it gets real scary for the government. So essentially, for every cube that you have there, you're gonna remove a gorilla that is face up, the star side up.
Yeah.
So severe overkill here, but it was nice seeing you.
It's just going to be all of these, right?
Yeah, all of them.
the ones that are active.
Yeah, I mean, a ton of cubes just for one gorilla, but if propaganda hits and they go underground again,
Yeah.
and you have the turn order, you can start flipping this active support. That's a problem. And for my special activity, I am going to do that reprisal action. So I'm going to do it here in Matanzas because I have government control
Okay.
with troops, and I'm going to relocate a gorilla.
So first you add a terror marker.
Yep.
And then you're going to shift this one space
One
towards
space
neutral,
towards
right?
Neutral. Yep.
So I lose 1
point.
point.
There we go.
Ah,
Feel like,
you do?
I feel like, like that was something that I needed to get done.
Yeah.
So, and then
There are
now,
other areas, I think, that
well,
that
we
need
got
to
to
be
get these
focused on a little bit
active
more.
opposition. See, now you can rally in here as the DR. So, the last thing I do here is I do get to oust one of your guerrillas. So let's
Okay.
just oust this one into this nicely fortified place. I'm not going there
Into Las
anytime soon,
Villas.
so might as well get out.
Done.
That's it.
All right. So then we are all eligible again.
back.
Us three.
Felt like you were gone for not that long. That was pretty quick.
It wasn't that long. I guess
Yeah.
it wasn't so bad. Defections comes down.
Yeah.
And next we have
Oh, another one of
Resistencia
yours.
Cívica. So in a city, replace all directorial pieces with 26 July counterparts.
I am so glad I got out of there. Oh my god, I'm so glad I got you out finally.
Or
Holy
in a
smokes.
city, the other way around, replace all 26 July pieces with directorial counterparts.
Most excellent. I got you out at the right time.
Okay, so now it goes to directorio. All right, as a directorio, this is good. Being able to replace
Fine.
2 enemy pieces. I mean, it's only going to be in either one of these 2 spaces. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I would rather you not be able to take an up with special activity as a syndicate.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do an up only.
Ooh, come on.
No special activity.
What?
And I'm going to do terror in Pinar del Rio. So 1 space,
Just one?
just 1, because it's a yeah, actually.
Flip
That's
yours
really
up.
the only space I would want to do that in.
Yep.
So there's a terror. This now goes to neutral, and you go down
Well, look at that.
by 1.
Look at that. Amazing.
That's it. So now it goes to the syndicate for limited op.
Yeah, I feel like that's what we've been saying a lot. Syndicate for limited op.
That's good.
Well, I don't really like what's going on, but I got to take an action here. So I'm going to go limited op. We are going to rally.
Oh,
Just a single rally because it's a limited op. I can only do it in one location, so it's going to cost me 1 resource.
okay. Where?
And I am going to retire one of these Pinar del Rio gorillas,
Uh-huh.
and we are just going to rally into Camoy over
Whoa.
here. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, that's that. So ineligible to eligible. These
Yes.
go into ineligible. And what is
All right, this
next?
card comes down. And
Come on.
the next
Something
card
good.
is
Oh, no.
Vilma Espin.
Oh, Vilma.
Set Sierra Maestra or an adjacent space to active opposition.
I hate
Or
this card.
remove all 26 July pieces from a city other than Havana.
I must say, I dislike that card as the government.
As the government.
As a government, I dislike that card.
So I'm gonna pass.
Yeah.
So I'm passing as the 26 July. I gain a resource, but now you can take the event if you like, or you can take the up.
The event is
activity.
nothing, right?
It's nothing.
It's nothing. Okay. Well, this is bad. This is very bad. But I will do an op. But I will not.
Special activity?
Yeah, I'm not going to do the special activity though, because I
Okay.
might use a cache marker.
Oh,
In
okay.
a way. So I am going to sweep into Pinar del Rio. I'm going to send in all 6 of these into Pinar del Rio. So we're sweeping in. Okay, that's going to cost 4 resources to sweep. Okay, so down to 0. And then because it's a forest, thematically, for every 2 cubes, I get to unveil a gorilla.
You have to activate.
I get to activate a gorilla. So actually, I don't need to send this many in because all I want to do is activate 1. So let me just send in. Ooh, I want to take all 4 out.
Oh my
Okay,
goodness.
I'm gonna leave 2 back.
Okay.
So I brought in 4, so I can activate 2 gorillas.
Okay.
Okay, right, 2 to 1. So I'm gonna activate you.
Okay. So you're losing control here.
I am losing control here. Nobody will have it.
Yeah.
So there we go. And then I'm activating that one, and I guess myself. I have to activate one of my own. There we go. Okay, so I am not going to be doing the special activity. So cache markers can be used as 6 resources during propaganda. Or if you're just executing an operation and not performing a special activity, you can turn in one of your cache markers. I'll turn this one in knowing what you're about to do.
Okay.
To the city over here.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to turn in this cache marker to execute another operation.
Okay.
So I'm turning this in
For free.
for free.
free.
That is going to be the cost of it. And I am going to do an all-out assault on this area here.
Whoa.
So 1, 2, 3, 4 to take out 1, 2, 3, and 4. So off you go.
My base.
Your base needs to go away. This goes here.
Ah.
This goes here. and you
The
lose a point.
heartbreak.
I know, but
You don't know.
But the good thing is the good thing
That's
is
false empathy.
the good thing is the government is here. The
There's
government
no
is here,
what
and
is
we're in
happening?
control, and we're taking over. Okay,
That was devastating, I will say. But we carry on.
necessary.
So
Yeah.
we are going to go
There we
ahead and swap. Vilma Espin
Oh,
comes down,
Vilma.
which I'm probably just going to do.
It's just auto.
And then we have Rebel Air Force.
what's
So
this?
a 26 July or DR guerrilla, active or not, free ambushes the government forces, remove bases first.
Ooh, I don't like that.
Or select 26 July or DR and transfer one die roll of their resources to the syndicate.
Ooh, I like that.
Well, I passed on my last turn in order to do this, so I'm going to take the event.
Yeah.
And I'm going to set an adjacent space, a space adjacent to Sierra Maestra, to active opposition. So I'm going to choose the city, Santiago de Cuba, because they are adjacent.
Off you go.
And this is going to get
Santiago de
removed.
Cuba.
And we're going to go
It
directly.
goes from best case scenario to essentially worst case scenario.
Right. So you are going to lose 2.
I am going to
and
lose
I
2.
gain
1,
2.
2, and you gain 2.
Did you remove a point for the base
I did.
that I lost?
Yeah, the good thing is you can always check on the board, so
Yes.
we can just do a nice brief
2,
count.
4. This is 5, 6, 7, 8,
9,
9, 10, 11, 12.
From the top, 3,
Uh-huh.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Uh-huh.
9, 10, 11, 12,
Yes.
13.
13.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
13. Okay, so it
Excellent.
was right. And that is it because I took the event. So now it goes to the syndicate.
Hmm.
Would you like to take an op with special activity?
I hate to do this with an op and special activity as the syndicate, but I'm going to pass. I'm going to take a resource because I'm going to be first up on the next one.
You really
so-
want my resources.
Yeah,
I see.
it's possible. Yeah.
Well, I know I have an op with special activity, but I think I'm going to pass.
Oh, interesting.
Because I don't know that I like the idea of you just having free reign over the next 2 actions. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
It's potentially the same difference, and at least I can try my chances with whatever the next
Yeah,
card
yeah,
is.
we both
So-
felt the same kind of way. Dang.
Plus, you're about to take some resources from me, maybe.
Maybe.
At
yeah.
least it keeps it a little bit interesting. I sacrificed an op with special activity
So
for that.
here we go. It's
Because
gonna
that at
be-
least kicks out the government on
the government is
the
out.
next
Yeah.
card. So this card comes down.
What
and
could this be?
What could this possibly be? Fat
Another one of
Butcher.
mine.
Close one casino or reduce aid -8. Or
Okay.
syndicate free ambushes with one of its underground guerrillas and opens one closed casino.
Ooh.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. So it is to you now with the syndicate.
Okay. We are going to do an op with special activity. Yes, we need to do this. So
Okay.
I'm going to construct. So I'm going to just do it in one place in Havana. We only have one casino here. So 7 down to 2. Yikes. We are going to construct a closed casino in Havana. There
Okay.
it is. And then we are going to take the special activity that is profit. So we're going to
Cash.
take cash. So we're going to stuff cash with, syndicate. What are we going to do? I'm going to do it in 2 places. So
Okay.
definitely I'm going to do it here and here. It's just, who do I give it to? The government is we had 49-0 now.
Yeah.
I mean,
you don't
you've
have many
really
resources.
pushed me here. So I'm going to put one with the government here, and then
Okay.
I will go ahead and just put one with my gorilla here. Let's just
Okay.
do it.
Interesting.
Gosh.
You split it.
I split it, yeah.
All right. That's
Yeah.
it.
So this casino is giving this cash, and this casino is giving that cash, or whoever I gave it to.
All right. Well,
Oh boy.
I'm going to take the event.
Sure, yeah.
Rebel Air Force.
There was
So-
cost to that action, so
It
I
says a
had to.
26 July or DR guerrilla, active or not, which is key. Free ambushes, government forces, remove bases first. So really the only place that I can do that is here.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just going to free ambush these 2. There
Okay.
are no bases there.
Off they go.
And I get to place a guerrilla because it's an ambush. And I believe the Directorio now has control
Which is a point.
here, which
Unfortunately.
is a point. Yes.
Unbelievable, right? Okay, so there you
So-
go. Point. So let's just make sure the DR is correct. So you
Okay.
have 2 bases out. That's 2 points.
Uh-huh.
3, 4, and then because its population is 2, 5, 6. So you have 6 points.
Yes, and as a reminder, I need to get to 10,
10.
minimum. So I'm not there yet.
Okay.
And that is
That's it, yeah.
Those are the 2. So now we are eligible together. And Fat Butcher comes down.
Come on down.
Let's see what we have next.
Another one of
Mafia
mine.
Offensive. This is an insurgent capability for the syndicate.
Yeah.
Options are 26 July or DR executes a free limited op, treating one syndicate piece as that faction's piece. Ooh.
Ooh.
That's really nice for me. Or syndicate may assassinate as if DR, but regardless of police. And that is an insurgent capability. Not, I don't know, not super useful for you. What do you
Well,
think?
I don't have a way, if you notice, I don't have a way to use my guerrillas like you have, like with attacking.
Right.
So that is the way to get that going.
I see, I see. All right, well, as the 26th July, I think I'm going to do an op with special activity.
Okay.
And I'm just going to rally in quite a few places.
How many
so
places?
I don't know. I'm not quite sure
Okay.
because I don't know how many pieces I'll have to go around. So I'm thinking for now, these 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces.
Yeah, sure. So that's going to cost you 4 resources. So 8 down to 4.
Right.
Okay.
And you know what? I'll do a 5th here in
Yeah.
Oriente.
That's a good spot.
So
That's a great spot.
that's 5 total. I'm also going
scary.
to infiltrate in Pinar del Rio.
First time you're doing this in the game.
Yeah, it's the first time. So I know here I want to put in 2 guerrillas.
Yeah, it's population, 2x population plus 2x times spaces. So you have up to 4. So you're doing
Up to
2
4.
only.
So
Yep.
I'm doing 2 only, yeah.
Okay.
And then in here I put 1. I believe it's just pretty much 1 in all other spaces. I'm going to retire from Las Villas for the rest of them.
Okay.
So this goes into
There.
Matanzas, another one in here.
Okay.
And then the reason why is because none of these spaces have support.
Right.
So that's why I was able to rally into them. And then my infiltrate special activity allows me to basically remove or replace 1 cube in a space without support that is with or next to an underground 26 July
Yeah.
guerrilla piece.
So here are your underground 26 Julys.
Yes.
Next to a space. There's no support here, even
Right.
though there's control. So my cube basically runs away and becomes a member of the 26 July.
Yes, if there were police
thematically.
there, it would be police first. But there you go. It's specifically cubes.
So you infiltrated the government and kind of from within.
Yes.
Wow.
So you have 3 to 3, so
yeah.
you lose control
Off
there.
that goes.
This is still DR. Oh, wait, no.
No, this is no longer
this is
DR. Yeah, so you actually
control.
lose a
So
point
I lose
there.
a point for that.
Which is a great thing.
That's fine.
But you'll make that work.
You still control this. That's still fine. Everything else is fine.
Okay.
Okay, so then it goes to the government. You can either take the event or a limited up.
Well, I have no resources, so I think event it is. So
Okay.
that bottom one, right? It says syndicate free ambushes
Yeah.
with 1 of its underground guerrillas and opens 1 closed casino. That sounds great.
Okay.
So
have
the
2
government
options.
is setting up the this. Well, I don't want to close a casino and reduce aid. So yeah, let's.
No, you have 2 options for spaces.
Oh, I see.
Because you have underground guerrillas here and here.
You're just gonna do that infiltrate over here again. So I will do it in camo way.
Okay.
So I'm gonna activate this gorilla. This acts like an ambush, and I get to take out 2. I get to take out 2 gorillas. So I'm gonna go ahead and take out 1 of each of these. So I'm gonna take out this one, this DR. I'm gonna take out your newly
Yeah.
camo
Rallied.
Yeah, rallied.
And so I lose control.
So you're gonna lose control, and then part of
That's a point.
That's a point. And then part of ambush is you basically get to put in a gorilla, the ambusher. So I'm gonna retire this one that's already face up.
Okay.
We're retiring them and then bring them in face down just like that.
Okay.
Okay, so that's
So you
good.
gain control here as a syndicate.
I do, yeah.
And the government also gains control here.
I do also.
So that's not good.
There you go. And then there's a little bit more to that card, correct?
And it opens 1 closed casino.
Opens a closed casino. Ah, yes.
As if you didn't know.
The old closed casino open. Okay, let's open the one in Havana.
Okay.
Havana's been through a lot in this game, so let's go ahead and keep that open. There we
Okay. And you gain a point
go. Yes, an open
in
casino.
an open casino.
It's nice moving your chits up and taking your opponent's chits and going the other way. So
Wow.
it's just not gonna.
Aggressive
No, aggressive speak. Yeah, I'm at 4. I've been at 3.
It's nice gaining points and forcing your opponent to lose them.
I started the game with 3 open casinos. After all this play, I have 4 open
Speak
casinos.
to the directorio. All right, are you done?
Yeah.
Okay,
There
so
we go.
we are ineligible.
What could this next card be?
The Mafia Offensive. So it's going to be you as a syndicate on that card first.
Okay.
And then
Ooh, it's one of
Rodriguez
yours.
Loiches, DR leader. DR places 1 guerrilla anywhere and free marches to rallies or ambushes there. Or remove a DR guerrilla and DR resources -5.
Oh, you have
That's
5
crushing
resources. Yeah.
for the DR. Okay. Well, It is to you.
I don't want to open up you to being able to do the top portion of that event, so I'm just going to do an op only, no special activity.
Okay.
And we are going to conduct a terror operation in Camaway for 1 resource.
Oh.
Real simple. So we are going to flip over, we're going to expose, and then the syndicate
painful.
brings, very similar to the DR, we bring towards neutral. So that goes there, and then this goes down because we got that back to neutral. I
Naveen,
needed that.
what is happening?
I know.
I'm going to pass.
Okay.
Because
Gaining a resource.
it gains me a resource. I'm so limited on them anyway. And at least I get to take this event.
Sure.
Honestly.
There we go.
Because that's terrible. And at least this gives me some stuff to do that is very flexible.
Yeah,
You know what I
sure.
mean? So this event comes down.
Okay.
And now we have
Another one of
Carlos
yours.
Prio, plus 5 DR or plus 5 $26 resources, or select the space without government control, place a DR base there, and set it to neutral.
Whoa.
Oops, that's the one that's coming up.
Those are both good.
Those are both great.
Not for me, but for you.
All right, then. Seeing as the government doesn't have any resources, I'm going to
49-0.
I'm taking this event, the Directorio. As a Directorio, I'm going to, it says DR places 1 guerrilla anywhere and free marches to rallies or ambushes there. And there are so many places that I can do this, I think. It's pretty much like the whole board is your oyster with this card, but it's tough because this is that push-pull part where I kind of want to affect you, but I also want to continue building up the Directorio. So I think I'm just going to go and just keep going straight for it, I think.
Oh, Havana.
I'm going back into Havana, and then I'm just going to ambush there.
Okay.
Because I can't rally, and there's no point in
You
marching.
can't rally because it's at active support.
Right.
There you go.
So ambushing removes 2.
2.
2 cubes, actually, police first.
Okay.
And then I can put in one of my own guerrillas. So
And then with the ambush,
Nestled in there.
that first one that you put in was technically the ambusher, so we know who they are.
Right.
So that's why they're face up.
they're activated. Okay. So that is it for the event. Now the government.
Yeah, government's in big trouble. That 49 resources is now down to 0, so we unfortunately, very unfortunately, have to pass
Okay.
for 3.
So that's 3. And the thing that's interesting is because you're at 4, your actions cost 4 resources.
Yes.
But you're at 3.
Yes. I'm
That is an
yes.
interesting spot. I do feel for you
Yeah.
in this moment.
Quick propagandas drop this super fast,
Mm-hmm.
so then you're like kind of like really trying to wade water at that point.
Mm-hmm. So then, as of 26 July, I am going to take up the op with special activity.
Okay.
And I'm going to do terror and kidnap. So I only have 3 resources. And I'm definitely going to do them here. So anywhere that I have an underground guerrilla.
Okay.
So these 3 locations, after the kidnap, probably in Oriente.
Okay.
So I'm going to do my special activity of kidnap in Pinar del Rio. So I'm kidnapping from the government because you have more resources in the syndicate.
Okay.
And it just has to be in a space that I'm doing terror where my guerrillas outnumber police specifically. And you don't have any police in there. And actually, luckily for you, this is not a valid spot to do a
right.
kidnap
Yeah.
because it has to be a city EC or an open casino
Yeah,
space.
and this one has been closed.
So I will
from
have
earlier
to.
operations.
I'll have to do it here, unfortunately, because the thing is, unless you're doing it in a city or an EC, then I have to take from the syndicate.
Yep.
And you only have 1 resource. So I'm not even going to roll because it doesn't go lower than 1.
If you roll a 1, no matter what, you're winning this.
So
yeah.
I'll take your
1 resource. You get the 1.
I get
So that's
1.
your kidnap.
So I'm at 4. That's my
So you
special activity.
Unfortunately, closed this casino. And there you go. I'm back to 3 casinos.
Back to 3, the magic number,
Ay,
it
ay,
seems.
ay.
And then because I only have 4 resources, I feel kind of uncomfortable about spending all of it. So I'm not going to do
Matanzas?
a terror in Matanzas, yeah.
So you're going to spend 3. 1,
So-
2, 3.
Yes, so I'm spending 3
Down to 1.
down to 1. So this is going
Expose
to
1.
get exposed. This goes up to passive opposition, so I go up by 2 points here.
And then you go up by another 1 point here for this is going to become passive opposition, and so is this. So
Okay.
passive,
so-
passive.
And you flipped up the gorilla.
Did.
Okay, so passive, so that's 2 points. So,
So
1,
you are now at the winning condition.
2. Can we confirm this? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
2 bases in it. 8, 9,
8, 9,
10,
10,
11,
11,
12,
12, 13,
13,
14. 15, 16.
There you go. That's it.
These are the last two
Yeah,
here.
16.
Okay. All right. Well, unfortunately, the Directorio is not there yet. But, actually, closing this casino gives the Directorio control.
Yeah, so they get one more point.
So they do get one more point in La Habana. So
They
we're at
do.
5, halfway there. All right. That is
This is
it
a struggle right now.
for
Oh,
that.
man.
So we become ineligible. This is all you on this card, Carlos
All me with-
Brillo. Feel free to take
I
the
can't take
event.
actions. This is
The
bad.
event is free. So propaganda.
Propaganda.
You are the last. You get to go. You get to go last before propaganda.
I
That's
do
so
get to go
nice.
last before propaganda.
Can you imagine? I should have passed.
Okay, I'm going to take the op with special activity.
Okay.
And I am going to do a march as the syndicate. And so I'm going to march. Now I have no resources, but I'm going to march into areas that doesn't cost resources. For the syndicate to march into these bubbled ECs here, it's actually free. You don't have to spend anything.
Right.
So I'm going to go in free there, in free here, and I wish I could get over there. But when you march, it's only across one line. So I wouldn't be able to get there. But I'm at least there. I'm taking that as my op.
Was this active?
They were both active. Yeah,
Okay,
one was
okay,
from the ambush and then one was from the terror, which, by the way, we never put the terror marker here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right. Also, you marching out, you lose control
Yes, that's not a problem. Yep.
of Camoe. Okay.
Okay, and then I'm going to do a special activity. And of course, that special activity is going to be my last cash marker of profit. And let's go. Who needs it more? The government? So the government is going to get, so the good thing about the syndicate and the ECs is they do not sabotage. So I know I'm going to get, since this is the propaganda, I'm going to get 3, 6, 7, 8, plus 5 is 15, so 13 to the government. And the government's most likely going to have to pass. Okay, I will give this begrudgingly to myself as the syndicate.
Oh, wow. It sounds painful.
Oh my gosh, look at
Oh, my
that.
gosh.
Ugh.
Wow.
That is a brutal thing to have to do right there, like that decision, because I've been so starved with resources in this entire past like 5 or 6 turns. Anyway, that is what I'm doing with that. And then I do not like either one of those events. Unfortunately, I don't have enough resources to do a limited op. So we're going to go ahead and pass, make sure we collect a couple resources. So 3 to 6. And then we are going into propaganda.
And you're going to get some resources now.
I am.
All
yeah,
right.
So all these will just hang out here until we figure it out.
Just hang out here. Propaganda will come down.
Yeah.
And we're going to see what's next.
Mine.
Santo Traficante
Okay, that's one of
Jr..
mine.
Syndicate resources minus 10.
Oh,
all
not-
syndicate guerrillas to active. Or any underground syndicate guerrillas block skim. So it's an insurgent capability.
So skimming is what happens at the end of during the propaganda round when the controlling faction takes money from the syndicate based off those open casinos. We are going into our third propaganda. That was a long gap in time from the second to this one.
Yeah.
I was really starved on resources, so this is a very welcome propaganda right now
Yes.
for me.
So this is the tail end of this stack of cards.
Yeah.
Which means the last propaganda, the game-ending propaganda, can really be anytime.
Anytime, yeah.
After this. So let's go ahead and get into it. Victory? I think not.
You are the only one that is technically in victory position as the
26th July. Yes, but unfortunately, I need both to be in winning condition. So we shall move on. Starting with sabotage. So we haven't been doing anything in the ECs as the 26th July or Directorio. So nothing gets sabotaged because the syndicate guerrillas don't count for that.
Perfect.
So then the government is going to get the full amount, which is 8 plus aid.
Yeah,
And aid is at
5 right there.
5.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be a plus 13.
plus 13.
So that's 6 to 19.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go. We need some actions.
you've got some resources. Okay, so 26th July, number of bases. So I gain 3.
Yep. So you go from 1 to
resources,
4.
please. Thank you. Directorio, number of spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
4. Yeah.
Please.
Directorial. Look at you.
Now, we do have some spaces where the syndicate guerrillas outnumber police, specifically in the ECs,
Yes.
these 2 ECs,
Uh-huh.
not in the cities, and the provinces don't count. So you are going to gain the amount.
The value. So 3 plus
Of
3,
those
so
ECs?
6.
That's
There
6.
we go.
Plus twice open
Open
casinos.
casinos. Yeah. So 2, 4, 6. So
another 6.
that's another 6. So 12.
But then we have skim. So you are going to give 2 resources here.
Yeah, government controls here where there's an open casino. So minus 2 to the syndicate, plus 2 to the government. Same thing happens down here in Santiago de Cuba.
Okay.
1, 2, and then minus 2 right there.
Okay. And those are the only ones, right? Those are the only 2.
Yeah, and even though
Areas that are
there's
open.
2 casinos here, it's only per space.
Right. Now, the part that you've been looking forward to, I'm sure, your cash.
Cash. Oh, give me money. Okay, so government has 2 of them. These 2 cubes, 1 and 2.
So good for you.
Well,
You're going
I've
into
been waiting.
the last part of the game.
So that's 12, please. So
That's so many
23
resources.
to 25 to 35. There we go.
35.
Oh, needed. So needed. Okay, and then the syndicate also has this cash marker here.
And that one.
And this one as well. So that's another 12 to the syndicate.
Been able to take them.
You don't deserve them. To 20. Yeah.
Wow.
Oy, oy, oy. That's why I needed propaganda to happen a little bit earlier.
Well, aid is dropping down
It is,
to
yeah.
0.
But
Not
aid
that
is
it
no longer a
matters.
problem for
It's
me.
not
Yeah.
really, yeah. And now you can spend the resources that you just received on civic actions.
Oh,
so
well,
would you like to do that?
Yes, Vilma over here really ruined things. So
He's referring to the event.
The event.
That turned this to active opposition.
we're going the
so
whole way.
Going the whole way.
All the
so
way back, yeah.
It's 16 resources, 4 to get to passive, then
4
to
to
neutral,
neutral.
then passive, and then another 4
So
to get
off
to
goes
active.
16 of my 35. So that means I'm left with -6, -10. So that's 19.
19.
Yeah, see, now it's good.
I lose
You lose 2 points.
2 points,
And I gain
you
2
gain
points.
2.
See, that's good.
So
See, that I like.
that was a swing.
That was nice.
Now I have agitation, but I only control these 2 spaces. They're already in active opposition.
Yep.
Then to the Directorio for expat backing, and I think I'm just going to free rally into Camoe.
Okay,
So,
that's control.
yes. So,
So
now
that's-
it's
that's a
controlled.
point.
It had to be uncontrolled or
That's a point.
controlled by the DR. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a point. And all of that, by the way, was support. So now we move on to redeploy.
Okay.
So Naveen, you must
So
redeploy your
we have no
troops.
bases here, so we're gonna definitely lose control in both of these spots. I got to get these people other places, so we are definitely gonna want to bolster up here, and then I think I'm gonna put 2 down here, seeing that you got something going on. I
Okay.
don't like it.
So these go
Out.
out.
And for a very temporary moment, we are gonna put this one here because this casino will open up. And then over here, you also have control. So that's good that you don't get to agitate before this.
Yeah, that order
Order.
was key.
Yep.
Are you done with the redeploy?
That's that.
All right, so let's reset for the final time.
Okay.
I think, right? So we need to remove all the terror markers.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There are quite a few.
You've done a lot.
There was there was a lot that was
You
accomplished.
did.
All of the gorillas
We'll go
will
face down.
go face down. So
Yeah.
that's the good news.
The bad news
That's
is
the
actually
stuff
what we're talking.
that
You live for?
I'm looking forward
Oh,
to
okay.
in propaganda. The reset is nice.
Yeah.
And finally, we open the closed casinos.
All of them.
And that is the end of propaganda. So you are pretty much
Where I need
you
to
are
be.
very, very close to your
So
condition.
going back to that early propaganda, that back to back, I didn't have the opportunity to put them out so that they can passively open going into
Right.
the previous round. So all that money that I would have gotten on that would have been really, really nice.
well, now they're all
Now
open,
they're open, yeah.
which is good. All you have to do is focus on the resource aspect.
Yeah. Well, I feel like these 2 are going to get destroyed. So
We shall see.
we shall see.
All right,
Yeah.
next card.
Yeah.
So this is going to be you as a syndicate. And
That's
again,
me.
it's either syndicate resources -10 and all syndicate guerrillas to active, or any underground syndicate guerrillas block skim as an insurgent capability. So it's up to you if you find that to be useful.
Yeah. Oh, these gorillas should have went under, by the way.
Oh, yes,
Yep.
yes.
Yes. Hidden.
So let's flip the next card. We have
Another one of mine.
Yano. Place a 26 July base and any guerrilla in a city, or select a city, remove any opposition there, and place an open casino.
Oh. Oh.
This puts you at great.
I spent 16 resources to get rid of opposition. That card says.
Oh yeah, that's so funny.
I mean, you
That
could have
card says
rallied
do it.
in and caused some problems.
Sure.
But, oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I was happy about propaganda, but now I find myself in a bad spot again. Going back to back towards the very end here. Not the most ideal
Yeah,
situation,
This is a tough.
especially
tough
because there's no
combo.
government that sits in between the 2 cards. Like it's always gapped. So I will begrudgingly go with op only.
Oh, okay.
It's-
so
it's-
just no event.
So bad.
That
yeah.
was the priority.
All gorillas going to active would be horrible for
Yeah.
me. Yeah. So plus -10. That is 1/3 of what I need to do to get to the winning position there. So op only. We are going to do a march. So we're going to march from Havana into La Habana. So that's going to cost me 1 resource.
Okay.
We are also going to march from Camagüey into Oriente for another resource.
So interesting.
Yeah. And then I think I will, what's one more march? Let's march into Las Vegas for another one.
Okay.
There we are.
You're looking to do terror.
I can. And that
You're
would
trying to spread out.
that would cost you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. So then that means you have to now think about maybe you don't do other things and you try to focus on protecting the 5 points. So
Yeah, that stinks. Okay. Well, I have to just do this. I have to do it.
yeah.
I have to do the limited op. You basically gave me no choice. I have
yeah.
to just do the terror there.
Terror there. Yeah.
So 1 resource terror in
Flips
Havana.
over.
Flip over 1. We gain a terror marker.
Passive support.
It's passive support, which is down by 6.
by 6.
So you go to nope,
That's incorrect. Yeah.
nope.
It's total support. There you go. Down
so
to 10.
to 10. Okay. I had to.
Look at that.
It wasn't. I mean, that's not bad, but it's not necessarily what I wanted to do. But
Sure.
okay, so
That's
we're gonna
that
have a new
card.
card. Yano comes down. It's gonna be me as the 26th July, and then Sierra Maestra Manifesto.
Manifesto.
In card faction order, each faction may place 2 non-casino pieces in a space where they already have a piece, and executing faction stays eligible. Oh, you know what? When you marched, I think some control should have changed.
Okay.
Right, so it says DR has control here. It's like
Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, yeah. So DR does lose control there.
Yeah,
There you
I
go.
think
Good
DR
call. That's minus
should
a
not
point.
have had control there for a while.
And then 26 July should not have control here. This is 1-1.
Yes.
So that should be out.
Anywhere else?
I think that's it.
That's probably it.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, as the 26th July, I think I'm just gonna do an op with special activity.
Okay.
And I'm gonna do terror and kidnap. And I'm doing it in 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, and kidnap here.
Okay.
So let's do the kidnap first.
Okay.
Let's get that over with. I have to roll a die,
so-
and I'm stealing from the syndicate.
So you're doing, so it's going to cost 1 resource to do this because this is the first terror. Right?
Yes.
This is no matter what you're doing this one. Yeah.
So you can do the special activity and
Yeah.
terror up in any
Yeah.
order, but that is going to be
So this will
a
become,
space. Since you already did it,
yeah.
let's
this will become
just
active opposition.
let's just do it all.
Terror, and then you get 1 point.
Yes.
There you go. Now you're going to roll the die.
So please, let's roll a 6, please.
5.
5. That's fantastic. So,
So
minus
you go
5.
up to 8.
Go to 12. Okay.
Come on,
That's
casino
great.
closes.
The casino closes. Yeah.
Ah,
So we already did the terror in here.
yes.
So let's just do it then in the rest of these spots. So we have 1 flip active.
That's another point.
That's 1 point.
Oh my gosh.
We have 2. So flip.
Active.
This becomes active.
Another point.
It's a point.
Sheesh.
And here.
Yep.
It's the last one.
Yep.
So terror,
Terror, flip.
this, and this becomes active. So it's 2.
2 points. Yeah.
points.
So you're at 19. So you're
Okay.
you're doing great.
Well, that is it. So now you can go as the government and take either the event or
What's the
a
event?
limited op. The event is place a 26 July base and any gorilla in a city.
Yeah, not happening.
Or select the city, remove any opposition there, and place an open casino. So you
It's
would
not the case.
basically.
It's not the case.
be placing
yeah,
a
we're just going to
casino.
ignore that altogether.
Okay.
Well, seeing as you still have another gorilla there, and that's going to be a big problem in Havana, I'm going to take the limited op,
Okay.
and we are going to sweep in place. Where it's going to cost us 4 resources, so 19 down to 15, and we are going to expose this gorilla just like that. Super
Nice.
simple, limited op. That's it. So these go to ineligible. These go to eligible. Next
This
card
card comes
comes
down.
down, and then
And then we
what do
have Sanchez
Sanchez.
Mosquera. So this is a government card. Remove all troops from a mountain space to available, or a government momentum until next propaganda assault treats mountain as city.
Yeah,
So
that's probably not going
so
to get
late.
enacted.
Yeah, for those. Okay. And I'm going to take this event. I wasn't sure I was going to do that when we flipped it,
Okay.
but I think it's not a bad idea right now. So it says here in card faction order. So it's going to be starting with the 26th July. Each faction may place 2 non-casino pieces in a space where they already have a piece, and the executing faction, which will be the Directorio, stays eligible, which means I'll get to go
So you get
again
to
on
go
the
again.
next
So I'll
card.
put that in the in between.
Okay, so then starting with the 26th July, I can place 2 non-casino pieces, and
Yeah.
that includes a base. So I'm going to
Which is
place
a
these
point.
2. I think I'm going to place them in Pinar del Rio.
Yeah, it's bad.
So this is going to give me control.
Control.
of Pino del
It,
Rio.
yeah.
And I gain 1 point because that's another base. For the Directorio, I'm going to place 2 bases. And I'm going to place them both in here. It was very tempting to go into Havana, but I
Wow.
feel like this is a bit safer.
Wow.
Because now it is you can have up to 2 bases and 2 casinos
Yes.
in a space. So that is going to give me control, right?
Yeah.
Because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 3.
Yeah.
So I gain 2 points for the
1,
bases
2.
and another one for the population
Oh
of
my gosh.
this space. Okay, that is
Cards.
it for me. So now it goes to you as a syndicate.
Wow.
You cannot place these out because these are casinos.
Correct. Yeah.
You would have to basically relocate your
Some
gorillas if
gorillas.
you wanted to do that.
Well, I guess I'm going to move these 2 from the cities into Oriente. And now in Oriente, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 to 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're going to lose control here. So that means
That's
you
minus
lose
2.
2 points. So 1, 2, just like that. And then now, because this is at active opposition, you are not allowed to rally into there despite having a base.
Right.
You can only rally into the in-betweens. And then with the government, I'm going to bring in these 2 troops into this position right here.
Okay. So that is it. That's the event.
That's the
That
event.
was a bit tense.
Yes.
And that goes to you. You can do an op with special activity as a
With
syndicate.
special activity, yes. We will definitely want to do that. So definitely we're going to do profit. Profit is
Profit?
definitely something I want to do as a syndicate.
Okay.
So it's only in open casino spaces where I have gorillas. Ooh.
Oh no, you don't have. So you can't do it. You cannot do it.
Well, I can give it to the police or to the government.
government?
Yeah. Okay. Going back to then when we were doing the faction order, putting out gorillas, I took 2 from here. I did this and this, and you would have the 2. So what I would do instead, actually, is I would do 1 and then 1. I'll bring this one in instead, just like
Okay.
that, and leave the 1 in the city.
Okay, so it doesn't change anything.
Sorry,
here.
not the one. Sorry.
Oh my goodness.
I would take the one that's in Las Vegas and here, these 2 over there, so that way I can do my profit and keep it with the
So there
gorillas.
was one in Las Vegas.
There was one in Las Vegas who was part of that the march that I did over there, and so with the profit here, I would want to put these cash markers with the people that need money at the end of the game. So there we go.
You just did a big takes
I did, but technically it was
So
me,
sneaky.
me again. You know,
So you did profit.
I did profit, so I did the special activity first, and then now I'm actually going to do a rally.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to rally into Las Vegas. So it's going to cost me 1 resource. So I'll go all the way into Las Vegas, which is funny because I could have just taken the guy from here over there. That's okay. That's my
Okay.
penalty for doing what I did. So
Okay.
yeah.
Is that all?
That would be it. Just one rally.
All right. So that's it then, because that was your you did rally and profit,
profit,
for your special
yeah.
activity. Okay. So
Scary times.
I am eligible again.
are, yes.
Because I executed this card.
Okay.
And this card comes down.
What does that say?
So this is
Oh, the mountains and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remove all troops from a mountain space.
All right, let's
or
just see
you
what
can
the-
do a government momentum.
Let's just see what the next one is.
The next one.
Oh, okay.
Propaganda.
All right, here we go. Oh man.
The end of the game.
Shoot. I
Why?
should have done terror.
You didn't do
I
terror.
didn't.
That is true. You did not. This
Oh
is
no.
Ooh, okay. This is really interesting right now. So, for the final event card before propaganda, you can still take the event, but if you'd like to do an op, you can only do limited ops.
Limited
so
ops.
you cannot do any special activities, and it also has to be a limited op, which is just in one
Just
space.
one space.
Once we are done resolving this card, we are going to go into final propaganda, and then at the end of that resolution, we will see who wins the game.
Okay, then because the limited op, we'll just go ahead and just go up the top side. We can't do anything. So as the government, we are going to sweep into this location here.
Okay.
How many, this is worth 1?
Yeah, this is a population 1.
Okay,
That
so
space.
so this is 1, 2, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll bring down, let's just bring down 5 troops into here.
Okay.
So that's going to cost me 4 resources, so 15 down to 11. And then I believe you lose control here.
Probably.
5, 6, 7 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you lose
lose
control.
a point.
Ooh.
So do I only have 4 plus 1? 5? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Done? That's it?
That is it.
So
Yep.
that is it. That is your final turn. That's your final action.
That was it. Yeah.
In the game. So I can take a limited op and I can choose which one of my 2 factions to do this with.
Right.
But I think I'm going to take the limited op with the Directorio because, like I mentioned, they're the ones who are struggling right now. And I'm just going to march. So I don't think I've done this at all the entire game with the Directorio. I can march into any space. I'm just going to march into Oriente.
Yes.
So that's one resource. And I'm only marching one guerrilla in here.
Shoot.
And that's enough, I
To
think.
get control.
To get,
A
yeah,
very
to get
vital
control.
2-point control. Oh, no.
Yeah. So
Seven's
now I'm
bad.
at 7. And that is it.
Oh, bravo.
That is the end. We have arrived. That's the end of the game. So we are just going to move them all into ineligible.
Right.
And we're going to have our final propaganda.
So no outright victory. Only if it was a 4-player game, 26 July would be the winners of this game because they have really gone past what they needed to.
Yeah, base is in opposition.
Yeah.
But because, again, it's a 2-player game, your score is the lower of your 2 factions.
Right.
And so both of us definitely have some factions who are not at their winning condition.
Nope.
So we will resolve propaganda all the way up to support, and then we'll
Yes.
calculate victories then. So resources, same. I did not sabotage any ECs ever the
Yeah.
entire game,
So
which is
3,
a
6,
bit
7,
strange.
8. Yeah, that is a little strange.
We
yeah.
were aggressive in other ways.
19. You
but
were very aggressive in the cities.
it
Yeah.
was not in the ECs.
So I got the 8 points for that.
Oh, yes, that's right, because aid is at 0.
Eight's at 0, yeah.
So it's the ECs plus aid. All right, 26 July has 4.
Yeah, 4 resources.
Resources?
That's pretty good.
That's per
8
base.
to 12.
Yes, Directorio is 1, 2, 3, 4
4.
spaces.
Yep. So you ended up in Havana in the end, huh?
I did.
You started in Havana with
started
2.
in Havana.
You start with 2, you end
Ended
up
there.
with 2. Yeah.
I wanted the Directorio to be aggressive this time.
They were very aggressive.
So then the syndicate, I don't think you outnumber the police anywhere anymore.
I left the
right? You left the
ECs, yeah.
ECs. So it's just going to be twice the number of open casinos.
Yeah, so we have 7 casinos open, so it's going to be 14. So this is what I was
Wow.
missing in previous times. So
14.
15 to 25.
Yes. Wow. You're
Mm-hmm.
doing, I think the syndicate will be just fine. But first, you do still have to skim.
Yep.
So skimming
2.
will occur here.
It's
So
going to
you-
be 6 total.
2.
So it's 2, 4, 6. Yeah.
To all the government.
All the government, yeah.
Okay, so plus another 4, minus 4
Uh-huh.
to 19.
And then right here, you get 2, and,
So-
and you're going to take from me.
So 2 and
-2.
minus 2.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now you can claim your cash.
Yeah,
And that
so-
is what's going to do it for you.
Yeah, I have this
assuming?
one right here and this one right here. So that's going to give me 12. So 17 plus 12 is 29. The resource goal is 30. And
my
the
gosh.
open casinos, by the way, I think I have 7 open casinos. That was, oh no, here we go, 7.
Yeah,
I made
7.
a mistake, yeah. 7 open casinos. So I'm 1 shy of my open casinos goal and 1 shy of my resources goal.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. At
Yeah.
least it wasn't a big discrepancy because for the syndicate, if there's a big discrepancy, you take
You
the
go
lower,
the lower of the
between
2.
your 2 scores. So
Yes.
that can be a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
So then we move on to support. We are no longer going to be moving the U.S. alliance box or aid, but you can still do civic actions.
Yeah.
And there's
Civic
definitely a
actions.
place
Here.
there.
So you did cause that problem there. So it's going to cost me 4 for the terror, 4 for passive to active. So that is going to be 8 resources.
8.
Yep.
So 17.
17, I think. And then my support goes back up to 16. Right where it all started.
Right
kind
where
of,
it all
yeah.
started.
Sheesh.
Nice. Well, you did it.
I
you
did
got
that.
all the cities at active support. So then it goes to the 26th July with agitation. And I think all of the spaces that I control are already at active opposition. So nothing to do there. And same with expat backing, really. The DR controlled spaces are already DR controlled. And anything that's neutral has active opposition. So I wouldn't be able to rally. Let's just do this.
Yeah.
Boom.
Boom. Can't
We
wait.
rallied in
That's
there,
legal
but
right there. Yeah.
It didn't do anything meaningful.
Sure.
So then that is it. We are going to skip the rest of propaganda and we are now going to calculate our final scores because we have reached the end of the 4th propaganda card. And the way that we calculate our scores is by taking our final scores and subtracting their goals, basically. So starting with the 26th July, my score is 20 minus my goal, which is, it's technically above 15, but when calculating, you subtract 15. So my score is 5. Now, the syndicate has 2 different scores. It's either open casinos greater than 7 or resources greater than 30.
Yep.
And you have to take the lower of the 2. So you have 7 open casinos?
I have 7 open casinos, so you would actually do 7 minus 7
Yes.
to get 0 is one of my scores.
Yes.
And the other one is 29, so you would actually do 29 minus 30 to get -1. So the syndicate's overall score is -1 because you take the lower of the two.
Right. As for the government,
Yeah,
same
so
sort of thing?
Same sort of thing. So the government, we're at 16, and you actually subtract because it's anything greater than 18. So it's 16 minus 18, so I'm at -2. So between my two factions, I take the lower score, which is -2.
Right. So you're going to go with your government score as your player score.
Unfortunately.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, then we have one final faction. It's the Directorio, and I'm at 7. So I think it's 7 minus 9
Correct. Yeah, because you
Which-
want greater than 9, so you do 7 minus 9 for -2.
for -2, which means between my two factions, the Directorio is my final score at -2.
So -2 to you, -2 to me.
So we are at a tie.
We're at a tie.
And
There is
in
a way
this
to
game,
resolve it.
there are tiebreakers. The first tiebreaker goes to the Syndicate if they're part of the tie, then the Directorio.
Yes.
And then 26 July, and the government will never break ties.
The government will never
So-
win in a tiebreaker scenario.
So that is it. The game
There you
ends
go.
in a
Yeah.
Directorio victory.
Tied victory, I might
A tied victory, yes. That is very
But
important.
Very good. You
But-
were able to just get into the city.
That was, you know,
Man, that is the
it's
most
hard.
aggressive Directorio play
It's
I think
hard
we've ever had.
to play as a Directorio because you
Yes.
don't have much, you know, strength going on, especially in the beginning, and you have to sort of outlast the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to be different this time around. I wanted them to have a voice. You know what I mean?
There was only one time really as the Directorio that you found yourself in trouble with your resources, which is pretty impressive. 'Cause
Yeah.
Sometimes at the Directorio, you're like grinding and taking actions just to do that subvert, just to get a couple more turns, just so you can kind of go a little bit more. So
Yeah, subverting for resources is the weakest way, I think, of the factions to gain resources. And
Especially
you don't
when
get to
you're-
roll dice. It's
especially
really-
when you're playing as 2, because you are controlling areas that you know that you want to be in for to get that opposition in. So if you're going to be subverting and turning that opposition into neutral,
Yes,
then
it's
you're
the
taking away
opposite.
from your points that you want. So
Right.
yeah,
So
you're
I
able
think
to manage.
spreading out across spaces and really just kind of sitting there for propaganda to gain the resources is
Very
nice.
important. Yeah.
But you know, despite the way that the cards came out for the government, you did pretty well.
Yeah.
Not bad,
I-
right?
you
ended
know-
in all active support.
That's a mandatory requirement.
Yeah.
You need to have all the cities in active support.
Right.
So I did get that.
And you were very close. You just needed you need the help
You
of the
need
provinces.
some sort of provinces, and
Yeah.
you need to establish a base somewhere. But I could
Yes.
never just get the
These
base
two
at
bases
the time because
are important.
you kept just getting into the cities. Like you had Santiago de Cuba. At some point, you were in Camagüey twice, on 2 different occasions, and then in Havana, you were just constantly in there.
Yeah.
So. That was a big that was goal number 1 was clear out the cities. Goal number 2 was try to figure out how to get other points. And I tried to get you back on the DR, but then you were able to march in at the very end. So that was good.
Who knew
Yeah.
that marching,
Just marching.
would win the game?
Yeah.
Anywho, that is it.
Yeah, well
Good
done.
job.
Well done.
Well, there you have it. That is Cuba Libre. Thank you all so much for watching the video. We really hope it was helpful.
Now we have plans to be back here in the future for more gameplay videos, but if you want to check out the other ones we've done on the channel, there is a playlist.
And if you enjoy solo gameplays, Paula has a solo playlist on this channel as well. And until next time, thanks
for
for
watching.
watching.